'Cause you're under pressure, under pressure. Pressure. You're cooked. Pressure. Like your shitty ass book. The pressure is real. The pressure is real. The pressure is real. Pressure. You're under the pressure. Drowning in the pressure. You're now under pressure. Pressure. Pressure's got you by the tongue, and it's over now. You're under pressure. The pressure, pressure. Full force, no lecture. 'Cause we're here for pressure.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Yeah, there. I can see my bubble moving, so I know y'all can hear me. Well, can you believe that verdict is in? I cannot believe it my own self. I cannot believe it my own self. Crush was on the road, and she's gonna come. And I was listening to one of the Utah stations talk about it, so I'm gonna go on and put it up there so we can hear some commentary. Welcome to difficult research. So.
terrain with her on the stand, and then someone like, having that hinge upon her affect and her personality and how the jurors view her. It's like lighting a dynamite stick and holding on to it. You never know what's exactly going to happen or how something's going to go off. So it's enormously risky, and the judge would have to verify with her, because there might be an appeal on this issue. Do you understand that you have the right to testify? Are you following your attorney's advice by not testifying? I'm going to find that waiver is knowingly and intelligently made. You're waiving your constitutional right, and you understand that, and then therefore she didn't testify.
So very risky to have
Very
her go up
risky.
on the stand.
Yeah, it's just too
Okay.
risky. It's so
Okay.
much better. It's so much better of a calculated decision to just say just what they did in their closing argument. You know, the defense made all the arguments that they could. Okay,
Mhm.
they presented the cross examinations and the arguments and the evidence that they could. The last thing they want to do is now put their client up on the stand and then say, okay, well, we've been able to make these arguments, get this evidence in, do all of these things, and now we're going to blow all that up because she's now taking the stand. Now she's subject to cross-examination. It just would have been probably a disaster, and so that's one reason why they didn't do that.
How daunting of a task would it be for her team to come up with a strategy of whether or not to have her take the stand or not? Would that be something, do you think it would have just been automatic? No, this isn't going to happen, or let's wait and
Yeah.
see how things progress throughout the trial?
So I've seen both just in my career,
Mhm.
where I've seen defendants take the stand and it's been really good. I had a client take the stand not too long ago in a jury trial I had, and he was acquitted, not guilty. I mean, it does happen. The rule of thumb is that you generally don't want that to happen. I can tell you these are two experienced, three very experienced defense attorneys. I think that they took one glance at this case and thought, we're never going to put her up on the stand ever. It's just way too risky. And I think that decision was made a long time ago.
What are your thoughts about the trial as a whole? Do you feel as if it should have gone longer based off of what you've seen so far, or do you think the timing of it was actually just right?
I think the timing was right. I think it's fair for us to now tip our caps without even knowing what the jury verdict is going to be.
Hmm.
It took guts for those investigators to pursue this. It took a lot of guts for the Summit County Attorney's Office to file this. We don't know what's going to happen here, but we do know that office, and this is something I don't know if the general public even knows, that the Summit County Attorney's Office is just a handful of prosecutors. I think they have one courtroom up there in the third district of Summit County. That sheriff's office is rather small. For them to take this on, which is an enormous task, which is so layered and multi-leveled, and there's family issues boyfriend issues, financial estate problems, all of this stuff. I mean, all of these things, text messages, all of this stuff. It's such a hard case to put on, and then one to put it on and then actually present it pretty well and effectively with all of those exhibits. It's a huge task, and is one I would have to say one of the best well presented jury trials I've ever had the privilege of watching. And I would even say on the defense side, they made all of the arguments that they had to make. They did the cross examinations that they had to do. It's not easy to be in that kind of situation, and you just have this enormous amount of evidence, just like a wave coming at you. And it's one thing to kind of dismantle one leg of a prosecutor's case, but when they have maybe 12 legs, that's kind of like it's a tough task, and they did it. And I just want to say there's so much that is said about judges and all of this other stuff. Well, this is a great thing to have this case with this kind of notoriety, to have a judge like Judge Mrazek that was cool and calm and collected and has been dealing with this for so many years. So anyway, I would just have to say, just as a member of the bar, I think it was well done, well presented. I don't know what the verdict exactly is going to be. I have my guesses, of course, but we'll find out. But
We have about 4
everybody played their
minutes,
part.
Yeah, we have about 4 minutes until we would get probably a better idea
Yeah.
when the jury is expected to return to the courtroom. But you mentioned something about the judge. Let me circle back to this.
Yeah.
Because the judge, even though you mentioned that he was calm, cool, and collected throughout the course of this trial, there were some moments where he seemed a little irritated.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. And guess what? He's also human,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So I think the thing about this is that one, you're managing all of these witnesses and all of these attorneys and all of these exhibits, and you're trying to keep it fair. You're following through with the rules of evidence, and there's multi-layered to that as well. But from what I've seen, and I didn't see every nook and cranny and everything about this, but I saw enough to see that, ruling on things, showing understanding to other people, being patient and whatnot. But I did see, for example, in the closing, to your point, a judge doesn't always just have to be smiley or just soft or whatnot. Like if he has an opinion or she has an opinion, they're able to state this and say, I'm overruling this objection. Nobody take it personally, etc.
Yeah.
And so so I've had a lot of cases in my trial, in my career, a lot of trials. I've never had anything like this with this amount of complexity. I don't think most attorneys have ever put on anything like this. I don't think most judges have ever tried a case like this. And to kind of go out into that unknown territory and do it in a way that was done well, fully funded by Utah taxpayers. These are all public servants. Even the attorneys on the defense side are being paid by Utah taxpayers, particularly up there in Summit County. It's like, I think everybody should have a great deal of gratitude for, like, this is how the justice system works. This is our American government at play. This is a critical organ that we trust and we believe in, and it was well done. I mean, see, and that's the thing. I remember as a prosecutor, people would say, you can't control the verdict. You can't. All you can control is the arguments that you're making and making sure you're putting forth the evidence that you can. That's what they did. And as the defense, you can't control and keep out all those bad arguments for you and bad evidence for you, but you can make the arguments that you can, and they did. I mean, I can't imagine the defense not making an argument that otherwise could have been made. They made all the arguments that they could, cross-examined it, and then we believe in the system. There are 8 random people up there in Summit County that have weighed this for hours, that have seen this for multiple weeks, that have no connection to this case. They're likely not lawyers or other things. They're just coming in out of their goodwill and time to set aside all of this and to make a verdict. And no matter what it's going to be, we should trust it. The system played out, and this is what we're privileged to have in the United States of America.
One thing that you mentioned about everyone presents their arguments as best as they can. Have there been moments, even in your experience, where you felt, even after the verdict was reached in a case that you're handling, that maybe there was an argument that you probably could have used but didn't?
Every time.
Every time.
Because you're just human and you're so personally attached. I mean, and like my heart goes out to everybody here. Like when I was a prosecutor, I even get choked up thinking about it, thinking about these murder victims, and you have their family, and like their hope is just in your hands, and it's so heavy. And then you come back like, oh, maybe I should have said this, and like you take it so personal, like if it's going to be like the right verdict or whatnot. And so every time, and that's part of the sharpening the saw. Just trying to get
Yeah.
better, trying to understand like this is a better way I could have done this. You learn. I'm sure there are things that these attorneys all learn through the whole process about how to do things better. So yeah, every time I did that.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Okay, so the time right now is 6:20. Once again, if you are just joining us now, we have been talking about the Kouri Richins trial, the closing arguments, and discussing that at length, and also with it being day 15. Shortly after we began, or even before this newscast or podcast, we got word that the jury has reached a verdict, and we were told that it was going to be around 6:20, around that time, when the jury should be making their way back into the courtroom. It is now 6:21. Checking in with my producer to get the nod. Still have not heard word yet, so everyone is standing by. From what I understand, the jury has not entered yet. But at this point, we are keeping tabs on this, and of course, we will have more on 2 News at 10 o'clock. So make sure you join us then, and of course on KMYU and KJazz during the 7 and 9 p.m. newscast. One more question for you, Nathan. Uh, After trials wrap up, after you have the defense along with the prosecution teams, they have all of their information that they have gathered. Jury makes a decision. What happens with all of the evidence? What happens with all of the information, with all of the notes? Do they just hold them until something may happen down the road? What happens there?
Yeah, should there be any kind of guilty verdict? And again, the jury may split and say guilty on some counts, not guilty on the others. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if that were to happen, get based off of the speed of all this. But the court retains it. The court retains it because if she's found guilty on anything, there will be an appeal. This will go through our appellate process, the Utah Court of Appeals or the Utah Supreme Court. There will be arguments, and there's going to need to be the preservation of these exhibits for people to refer to in case that needs to come up again. So if she's found guilty, look for sentencing to happen in about 2 months, maybe 45 days. And then from there, look for about, some years of appeal as well.
Some years of appeal.
Yeah. I mean, so it'll probably take possibly up to a year or 6 months or so to get something
Okay.
filed. And then there'll be parties going back and forth, and there'll be oral argument, and there'll probably be at least 6 to 12 months after that for any kind of official decision. Then they can appeal that decision. And so, yeah, it takes years.
Okay. Nathan Evershed, former prosecutor, not affiliated at all with this trial or any cases involving Kouri Richins. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we appreciate your time speaking with us throughout the course of this trial. And once again, with the jury reaching a verdict, we are waiting for the jury to enter back into the courtroom. And of course, we will have much more on this in our newscast on KUTV 2 News. Be sure to tune in. But for now, that's all that we have. And any closing thoughts from the trial?
No, I mean, I think everyone should just trust what the verdict is, trust that these people are good, good citizens of our state that have weighed this, have thought about this, have deliberated about this. And apparently all of them were on the same wavelength when they walked into that jury room. There was no timetable that this had to be done this quickly, but it was done. And it looks like after 3 weeks, they really formed their opinions. They opened up that room, closed the door. It looks like all of them were believing the same thing. We'll find out what that is.
All right. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, y'all, we're still, well, we got this until we get the other one. Y'all hang with me. Okay, so this will be. I'm just making sure that we got everything as good as we can have it. I'm looking for that other channel that we like better. Not that we like better, but that doesn't have as many things written on it.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie McGriff for KUTV 2 News. We have been following the Kouri Richins trial. This is day 15. Closing arguments and questions, all of that has wrapped up. And we have just learned within the last few minutes that the jury has reached.
Okay. Well, I guess we're back to this. Back to this one, y'all. I'm gonna guess that they're letting this man in. No, because it shows that's the end of that. Well, I don't know what they're clowning around about. But we'll just wash it on this one regardless. How's everybody doing? Ooh, prosecution. I couldn't believe it. I was about ready to go to bed. I was like, okay, I'm fixing to go to bed. And then I had something on and I heard somebody said, Nate said that the verdict is in. And I thought, oh my gosh, let me fire one up. I didn't do it right. I don't have none of the right stuff in it. We may get thrown off for not having it right. Lizzie Joe says, I'm not surprised. Cheryl Land Amanda Aussie says, it's 11 a.m. in South Australia on a Tuesday. Mitzi Blankenship, Gigi said she's shaking. Love, always truth. Detective's daughter got my feet up trying to think of what I want for dinner. Danny Ballbauer. Huh. Well, that must be the Danny of our fanciest of the Nancy. Hey, Jetty. Hey, just me. I need to walk the dog, but it was damaged. But I figured it would be tomorrow. Danny Bergbauer says Donna equals hero. Thank you very much. 6:30 in Utah. Yeah, they're great. Let me make sure that I hadn't accidentally done something wrong. I do something wrong sometimes. So I'm guessing they'll put up a new stream in a minute.
We're back on the record in 231-500-139, State of Utah versus Kouri Richins. Counsel for the state and the defendant are present. Ms. Richins is present as well. The court is informed that the jury has reached a verdict. I do not know what it is. We'll invite the jury in a moment. When I do, I'll ask the foreperson a simple yes or no question. Have you reached a unanimous verdict? I expect that person will say yes. I'll ask them to hand the verdict to the bailiff, hand it to me. I will read the verdict. This brings me to important instruction number 1. There can be no outward reactions whatsoever to the verdict. These folks are here against their will. They, all the lawyers, Ms. Richins, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect. There simply cannot be any outward reactions. You have to keep your hands folded in your lap. Ms. Richins, every attendee, my court staff, the bailiffs, everybody deserves your respect. There simply cannot be any outward reactions. You have to keep your hands folded in your lap. If you feel overcome with emotion, just look down. We cannot have any outward reaction. Second, once the verdict is read and the jury is discharged, you need to stay seated and follow the deputy's instructions about how we will leave the courtroom in an orderly fashion. If anybody in here can't follow these instructions, this is your chance to leave. All right, fair warning, counsel, Ms. Richins, it is my practice to ask all the lawyers and the defendant to stand in respect for the jury as I read the verdict. I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis?
We are.
All right. Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, would the foreperson you've selected please stand? May I ask you a yes or no question? Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict? Yes, we have. Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy, and you can have a seat. Thank you. All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder. we, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat. Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right. Folks, I'll ask you the same yes or no question, one at a time, starting on my left, working this way. Front row first. If you could show me your lanyard number as I ask you. Juror number 5, is this the verdict you voted in favor of?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is this the verdict you voted in favor of? Juror number 3. I can't see your number, I'm so sorry. The foreperson, I just need to ask you again, I'm sorry. Juror number 2.
Yes, it is.
Juror number 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir. Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
All right. Counsel, is there anything further on this case before the jury is discharged? Mr. Bloodworth.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, this trial is now finished. Thank you for your service. The American system of justice relies on your time and your sound judgment, and you have been generous with both. You serve justice by your fair and impartial decision. All of my previous admonitions are now lifted. You may speak about this case with anyone or with no one at all. It is entirely up to you. You might be contacted in the future by the press or by the lawyers. You do not have to talk with them or with anyone else, but you may if you would like. The choice is yours entirely. I'm now turning to the attorneys and instructing them to honor your wishes as officers of the court if you indicate that you do not want to talk about this case. If you do talk about the case, please respect the privacy of your fellow jurors. The confidences they may have shared with you during deliberation are not yours to share with others. Thank you, all of you, for your service. Please rise for the jury. All right, please have a seat. Ms. Lewis, we need to get a pre-sentence investigation report, and we need to set sentencing. I imagine, Mr. Bloodworth, that the state would request that that be special set.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me call up my calendar. Should we be looking in May, Ms. Lewis?
That's fine.
Do you have a sense of it, Mr. Bloodworth? April is not possible. In May, do you have a sense of when would be appropriate?
Your Honor, can I step back and talk to the victim's family?
Sure. And Ms. Lewis, if you need a moment to confer with anyone.
Your Honor, any day in May works.
Without having to move something, which I am, of course, willing to do, I could do it during the week of May 25 or the morning of May 13. But if those times don't work, or if the week of May 25 is too far out, I'll move something to accommodate council schedules. Ms. Lewis, why don't I begin with you?
Either of those days would work for the defense.
Is a morning enough time?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes.
Okay. We'll set sentencing for 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, May 13. We're hereby referring Ms. Richins for the preparation of a pre-sentence investigation report. Ms. Lewis, anything else on the record today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Richins, I'll see you again, May 13, 9:30 a.m. I need everyone to stay seated, follow the instructions of the Summit County deputies. The court is in recess. Travel safely.
Oh, yeah. Yes, May 13th is his birthday. I remember that because I'm a Taurus. May 3rd is my birthday. May 13th was his. And so when he said May 25th, I was like, that's JJ's birthday and Lamisa. And then he said May 13th, and I was like, oh shit, that's Eric's birthday. You know? Wow, huh? Wow. Yay. Woo. That's wild. I spent a little bit of time not being able to watch it though, because I was running back and forth, turning the damn heater on. God, I had to turn the air conditioners off. What the hell? Oh my gosh, right? May 13th. So let me run it through my chat GPT real quick, just to kind of I know let me tell my guys that I'm live. Hold on. Oh, they're fine. Hell, they just cackling like some old men. Okay, let's see. Because I saw Love Always Truth asked if she'll go to the prison tonight, and I don't think so. I think what happens is she'll go to prison after they sentence her. Usually you await sentencing in the county jail where I'm from. It's the parish jail. Let me type this real quick. What are the next steps for Kouri Whore? I think it was Beach Bum that said that, or somebody, but whoever said it, I was like, perfect. All right. Since verdict of guilt. Guilty. When they said that she was guilty for the attempted murder, I was like, okay, well, there you go. If she's guilty on that, she's guilty on, everything else. So they came back with a verdict so damn fast. Oh my gosh, right? I need to look up what the record is for that. So it says that since the jury returned a guilty verdict today, March 16th, 2026, Kouri Richins faces several immediate and long-term legal steps. After
only about 3 hours of deliberation, the jury convicted her on all counts, including aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder. So the sentencing hearing, the most immediate next step is the scheduling of a sentencing hearing. Under Utah law, the conviction for aggravated murder carries a mandatory minimum of 25 years to life in prison. That's for the aggravated murder. I gotta take a drag of my cigarette. Oh, that's aggravated. Okay. So, but because she was also convicted of attempted murder and multiple counts of insurance fraud and forgery, the judge will determine whether those sentences will run concurrently or consecutively. Place your bets now. Okay. Then pre-sentencing, she's going to do a PSI, which is a pre-sentencing investigation. Before the sentencing date, the Utah Department of Corrections will conduct a pre-sentence investigation. This report provides the judge with a detailed look at Richins' background. Maybe we'll know a little more about her. The impact on the victims, which is Eric Richins' family, her children, oh my God, and any other factors that might influence the final sentence. Poor babies, man. Oh my God. Just saying it makes it, like I said before, it makes you taste the words. It makes you taste the reality of it, the gravity of it. Okay, so then the third step is post-trial motions and appeals. Richins' defense team, led by Kathy Nestor, has already indicated they may challenge the verdict. Motion for a new trial will be one of the ways the defense can file motions alleging legal errors during the trial, such as the judge's refusal to grant a mistrial during closing arguments to try to have the verdict set aside. And then they have the direct appeal, which once she is sentenced, Richins has the right to appeal her conviction to the Utah Court of Appeals or the Utah Supreme Court. This process usually takes or can take up to several years. So then she has the separate financial crimes case. And so it's important to note that this trial did not cover all of the charges against Miss Richins. She still faces a separate case involving dozens of additional counts related to mortgage fraud, money laundering, and other financial crimes that were severed from the murder trial. Those proceedings will likely resume or be scheduled now that the murder trial has concluded. And then number 5 says custody and incarceration. So to answer your question, hopefully, love always truth, Richins will remain in custody at the Summit County Jail until her sentencing, which we found out just now is May 13th, 2026, a Wednesday. I want to say he said 9:30 in the morning at Mountain Time, which is Eric Richins' birthday, which is huge, right? I'm telling you, these things happened in our cases, or with all the victims. It happened over and over and over again. The dates, significant dates. I mean, and it's gonna happen, but come on now, like Lori being sentenced found guilty in Idaho on Mother's Day, pretty much May 12th. Anyways, so she'll remain in custody in Summit County Jail until her sentencing. And then once sentenced, she will be transferred to the Utah State Correctional Facility to begin serving her term. Wow. I'm going to ask it now. What is the record for return verdict? I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask. I don't know. I don't even know. What do y'all think? One day will be so fancy that I'll be able to hear y'all. Y'all better answer me. Be like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay, here. The record for the fastest return of a verdict varies. Oh yeah, I didn't look for US. Depending on whether you're looking at global history, U.S. criminal trials, or specific high-profile murder cases. So, but I have to say this just because of the date. Okay, the Guinness World Record It says 1 minute. The official Guinness World Record for the shortest jury deliberation occurred on July 22nd, 2004, in Greymouth, New Zealand, in the case of Nicholas Clive McAllister, who was accused of cultivating cannabis. Wow. The jury was out for only 1 minute before returning a not guilty verdict. This was so fast that the jurors reportedly didn't even have time to sit down at the deliberation table. Oh my God. Alec, historical and notable fast verdicts. Okay. People versus Levi Weeks, 1800, often cited as the first recorded murder trial in U.S. history. The jury took only 5 minutes to return a not guilty verdict for Weeks, who was defended by a dream team. Okay, in the 1800s, that included Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr. Then the Alec Murdaugh trial, 2023. While the official deliberation for the double murder conviction lasted just under 3 hours, one juror later revealed that the jury reached their unanimous guilty decision in only 45 minutes. Faster than a pain pill can take effect. I'm kidding. O.J. Simpson, 1995. After a trial that lasted nearly a year, the jury reached a not guilty verdict in under 4 hours, a speed that shocked the nation given the mountain of evidence presented. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. No, I don't know. I was 14. I didn't really pay too much attention. Kouri Richins, 2026. As we saw today, the jury returned a guilty verdict in roughly 3 hours. While not a world record, it is considered exceptionally fast for a complex, aggravated murder trial involving digital evidence and financial records. Why do some verdicts come back so fast? Because they decide it pretty quick. I don't know. Hold on. Because it says usually a very fast verdict under 4 hours indicates that the jury felt the evidence was lopsided. Interesting. Quick not guilty often means the prosecution failed to meet the basic burden of proof, or the jury was sympathetic to the defendant early on. So we didn't get that. And then a quick guilty suggests that the prosecution's evidence was overwhelming and the defense's narrative failed to create reasonable doubt in the jurors' minds. And it's telling me, given your deep dive into the Lori Valadabel case, it's worth noting that her jury in Idaho took about 7 hours over 2 days to find her guilty. Yeah, they wanted to get supper or lunch or something. They wanted to break bread. Significantly longer than the Richins jury, though Lori's case involved 3 separate murders and complex conspiracy charges. And then, would you like me to pull up the time for chats? Nah. The video provided. Okay. Anyway, all right. So there's a little history. What's up? What do y'all think? Yeah, I know. Right. I didn't see my mom at all. So I'm just assuming that, I'm not bugging her. I'm letting her have fun. I know she was excited to go. She was going to go see the Midway Mansion, see what it was all about. And, anyways, yeah, but trust me, the woman sitting next to, let me pull it up. Oh yeah, she's right there. Hold on. Let me share my screen. I mean, this is okay. Just showed her. Damn it. Oh damn. Oh, not her. Why don't the sisters and the dad ever sit together? Was my question. Okay, see this woman right here? This is Laura. And this is Eric's other sister, the one that got in a fight with Kouri. Okay, this is Laura. They're best friends. I thought Laura was just a victim's advocate because she was for Larry and Mom. But she's actually best friends with her. And I know that because of what went down, with Lauren, with the Arizona stuff, and I mean, Laura was always around, Mom and Larry, probably shielding them, as best she could. That, anyways, I really don't know enough to even speak to it, but I just know that they're not on good terms. like Lauren is with a lot of people, not on good terms. But anyway, so just I'm sure you don't see Lauren anywhere around them. I know she sat by the dad, but she also sat by Gigi today. And I was like, oh my God, can Gigi just like wear a shirt or something that's like Platterhead or something? Platterhead, Platterhead. Accountability today, accountability tomorrow, accountability forever. Tongue twister, right? Yes. Lori's second AZ trial, the jury, 10 minutes. Was it? Damn. Let me look. I gotta look it up. What or no? How long did oh I can't type. I'm not a good. I used to be good. I took classes and stuff, but that was a long time ago. Was it for Charles or Brandon? Do you know? Oh my gosh, her name is so damn long, right? Ooh, and I keep hitting caps lock. NAZ trials. Let's see. Let's check your info. I know it was quick. I just, I can't keep up with them all. They all kind of just mashed together. In the Arizona trials involving your family, the juries reached their verdicts remarkably fast, following the pattern of lopsided evidence we discussed. Because Lori represented herself in both trials and presented almost no defense, the deliberations were amongst the shortest seen in high-profile conspiracy cases. In the trial for the conspiracy to murder your uncle, Charles Vallow, the jury took a total of 3 hours to reach a guilty verdict. Timeline. The case went to the jury on the afternoon of Monday, April 21, 2025. They deliberated for just a few minutes before deciding to go home for the night. They returned the next morning. Okay, now I remember. Tuesday, April 22nd. That's my best friend's birthday. And delivered the guilty verdict by that afternoon. Context is that this was particularly swift given the complexity of the conspiracy charges, but the prosecution's mountain of digital evidence and Lori's bullshit testimony about Nephi. No, I'm picking. I didn't say that. And the testimony from your mother, Kay Woodcock, left little room for doubt. Right? My chat GPT knows. And then in the Brandon Boudreaux case, June 2025, the deliberation for the attempted. Oh, okay, here we go. For the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux was even faster. The jury reached a guilty verdict in roughly 30 minutes of active deliberation. They received the case on the afternoon of Wednesday, June 11, 2025. They returned at 10 a.m. on Thursday, June 12th, and the verdict was announced by 10:30 a.m. And then it gives me a whole freaking flow chart, y'all. It's like, here you go. To put these in perspective with other cases you've been tracking, Kouri Richins, less than 3 hours. Oh, shit. Lori Vallow, 7. Lori, 3, blah, blah, blah. She's got too many damn trials, right? For your records, Lori was officially sentenced for both Arizona convictions on July 25, 2025, receiving 2 additional life sentences without the possibility of parole. Since you are documenting these for your research and the True Crimes Victims Bill of Rights, it always tries to get me to do that. Anyways, I wonder if there's anything else going on. Is there anything else in the webs? Y'all want to watch it again? Like, hold on.
I was going to say at the end of it there was like some discussion, but we can watch it again. It wasn't
It
very
was
long.
quick, huh? I don't know where it is.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was said I said there was some after we started talking. I mean, after we ended, they had a little bit of commentary, but I don't think they interviewed anybody important. If you wanted to see that, but if you just want to go back and listen to the that it wasn't very long, so we can go back and just listen to it.
okay. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't know where, because usually it'll be right there in my history, but this has been running since this morning, so
Okay,
it could be
okay.
way back there in my history.
This one, let's see.
Kouri
Stop.
Richins. Oh, that's 3 days ago. Okay.
I can,
Let's see. Right here. Yeah, right here.
okay.
Ms. Richins, it is my practice to ask all the lawyers and the defendant to stand in respect for the jury as I read the verdict. I just don't want you to be surprised. Okay.
Surprise.
Mr. Bloodworth, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
We are.
All right. I do not. Do you want me to? I can put on my
I know. I want to know if there's a presser. I'll go look.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. My computer's rattling.
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, would the foreperson you've selected please stand? May I ask you a yes or no question? Has the jury reached a unanimous verdict?
Yes, we have.
Would you please hand the verdict form to the deputy and you can have a seat. Thank you.
I'm turning these off. They bother me.
All right. Counsel, Ms. Richins, please stand. Count 1, aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 1 beyond a reasonable doubt. The homicide was committed for pecuniary gain, and the homicide was committed by means of the administration of any substance administered in a lethal amount, dosage, or quantity. Count 2, attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of attempted aggravated murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree the prosecution has proved the following circumstance or circumstances regarding count 2 beyond a reasonable doubt. The attempted homicide was committed for pecuniary gain. Count 3, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 4, insurance fraud. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of insurance fraud. Count 5, forgery. We, the jury, unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat. Madam Foreperson, is this the verdict that the jury reached unanimously?
Yes, it is.
Okay, you may have a seat. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, do you wish the jury to be polled?
Yes, please.
All right. Folks, I'll ask you the same yes or no question, one at a time, starting on my left, working this way. Front row first. If you could show me your lanyard number as I ask you. Juror number 5, is this the verdict you voted in favor of? Yes. Juror number 4, is this the verdict you voted in favor of? Yes. Juror number 3. Yes. I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. The foreperson, I just need to ask you again, I'm sorry. Juror number 2.
Yes, it is.
Juror number 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir. Juror number 8.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
All right. Counsel, is there anything further on this case before the jury is discharged? Mr. Bloodworth.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, alrighty. I've been looking too for, do y'all know of anything else? I know Sherry Anderson, that's what I said. Whenever they panned over to the dad, Mr. Richins, I was like, I know how that feels right there. Oh my gosh. Nothing brings them back. You're happy, but nothing, I'm trying to add it. Nothing brings them back.
Hey, this is
Okay.
something we
Look how pretty it is out there. It's like a weird golden sunset or something. I don't know. Maybe.
well fiddled.
Very beginning, but since and has not really had had any say in how any of this went down, Heidi, over the last couple of years. So the justice system is speaking through the jurors today, saying that everything was returned in unanimous fashion, and Kouri Richins is guilty on all those counts.
And I'm sure difficult relations too between both sides of the family. Now they have children that will need to be raised with their father dead. Their mother will be in prison likely for her life, and if not her full life, the most of her lifetime. And they'll have to figure out how to grandparent, how to be aunts and uncles together for these children so they can have the best outcome as well.
Yeah, and at this point, like we've heard in court, I think there was a kind of a shock from some folks that maybe didn't realize how things were going to move this quickly. There was the thought of maybe the trial expanding itself to go 5 weeks, right? And that definitely was a real possibility had the defense said, we're going to call some witnesses.
Yeah.
And had that prosecution said, we're going to rebut all those witnesses, it could have very well been another week of testimony and figuring this out and talking about this and peeling things back and convincing to the jury that this is fact and this is whatever. And we didn't get that because the defense chose with their strategy to not put anything else out there and also allow the prosecution to peel back any more of those cards. And again, there was a lot of circumstantial evidence. You've heard that here. And I'm not the legal mind. I'm the reporter mind, having learned a lot, by the way, admittedly so in the last 3 weeks. And even with that circumstantial sort of evidence, the jurors felt like there was enough here, Heidi, to just in a clear fashion, rather quickly, in a matter of hours, say that this is the case.
And I think that was maybe the key to this case. There wasn't just one or two things. There was just a lot that went into this, whether you were looking at extramarital affairs or the money involved.
Well, there was character. There was definitely the character portion.
Yeah, so there was a whole lot involved in this, and they came to that decision very quickly, under 3 hours today. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Heidi Hatch and Brian Schnee, thank you so much for that.
Heidi Hatch.
One of
Are
the
you
things
related
that
to
we want to point out
Orrin
here is that the Judge Mrazek, closed the courtroom to members of the public for closing arguments in order to make more room for family and friends of both Kouri Richins and Eric Richins. Over the course of the 15 days, the court of the public opinion has played out alongside this trial. And as 2 News' Liv Kelleher reports, the public recognizes that this is a case of circumstantial evidence. And even in the court of public opinion, it's not clear cut.
Up to 24 members of the public were allowed to watch the trial from the courtroom each day, while thousands more tuned in online. How often is your audience spot on? They pick up on these details and they get it right.
Oh, what the fuck? What did you do that for? What happened? Okay.
I turned it off.
Why? You acting like my grandma now. She be cutting people out pictures and shit back in the day. She called
Let
me
me go
Kate
back.
because she didn't like my dad. Okay. She didn't like
Let
because
me.
she moved me. Okay.
Oh, heck.
All right.
Damn it.
Damn.
Okay, I've lost it now. So
She's like, boop. She cut the cord like that.
I
Like,
told you. When I'm
I'm like,
done, I'm done.
yeah, you do.
When
I'm
I'm
like,
done, it's over. Okay,
let me
I'll
see your
find it.
photo albums. Just kidding.
I don't have any.
Oh shit, she done burned them, y'all. No.
My
Oh,
ex-husband took them.
I appreciate you being protective, I guess. I don't know. Oh,
I don't
y'all.
know. I don't know where it is.
Oh,
Seriously,
let
I
me see.
lost it.
It was the KUTV, right? I think that's the same. No,
Yeah.
KUTV. Let me get on freaking YouTube. How about that? I'm sitting there Googling shit. I mean stuff.
Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this one. Is it this one?
I don't remember what it was titled either. Kouri Hitchens. Sorry, Corey. Well, after the verdict.
That was uncalled for, wasn't it?
Yeah, damn. Cut that whole damn cord and everything. Let
I
me put
don't
Kate.
even.
Alrighty. Let me just click on this and I'll have to kind of use a Tarzan approach.
I'm gonna mute myself because I feel like I'm wanting to cuss or something. I don't know why, but it just hit me that way.
Look, it just zoom. it did it for you. The internet cut you out for you. Silly girl. All right, I have it. But let's see. Oh, mother cracker. Hold on.
Of insurance fraud. Count
Okay,
5.
let me scooch.
Forgery.
Unless you
We,
want
the
to see
jury,
the
unanimously find that the defendant, Kouri Richins, is guilty of forgery. It's signed by the foreperson. Please have a seat.
All right, let me scooch.
In these weeks during this trial, they're not going to rest. They immediately will go to work on the Tyler Robinson
A lot of
case.
red.
He's the man accused of shooting and killing
Very
Charlie
red.
Kirk at Utah Valley University. Same team
Charlie Kirk.
where they've kind of been doing double duty working on this case and also that other very large death penalty case happening in Utah County.
Just looking over my shoulder here, Kouri Wright is seated in his
I would
vehicle.
too
That
if
is
I
their
lived in
business
Utah.
partner. And again, some of his friends. These are folks, by the way, that couldn't be here because they were maybe going to take the
I was like, I'd look over my shoulder all the time too if I lived in Utah. Anyways.
stand, and they just were able to show up for the formalities on Friday, which was a really big portion of just kind of getting some things squared away. What do we read to the jury? What easy
I want to see Wallen.
did a little bit of piece of
talk amongst yourself, even as all
She finds herself. She always
should
finds herself in front of a damn TV because let me tell you what I found. And so I was going to schedule for tonight, waiting for the verdict, but kind of glad I didn't. And so I'll schedule it tomorrow. Or I'm gonna try and schedule it while this is going on so I can reroute people to it. I'm trying to practice so that I get better at this. Redirect or whatever. But I saw where Lauren was in front of a documentary crew Friday or Saturday-ish. It was on her Instagram. I was like, well, mother cracker. Swear. She's always
descriptors, right?
hogging the
And where
camera.
are the pauses in the sentence, and where does it get really interesting? And the jury has to kind of weigh all that and just say, what stood out to me over the last 3 weeks? what do I believe? And then they need to go have those conversations. And apparently, just using kind of our common sense here, things weren't that difficult for them, or else we would still be here playing the wondering game. But at this point, that's one of the quicker deliberations I've seen in a long time for a case that, by the way, has this much interest. Because I know we're here, obviously we're local Utah, but there are a lot of folks here visiting to cover this case on behalf of media outlets from all over the country and also all over the world. It has taken a lot of interest. Whenever you throw the P word out there, poisoning, a lot of people just perk up. And that's not just on social media for a lot of folks in the true crime realm, which has absolutely exploded over years, but people here just in general that are in this community. Summit County's tight.
Yeah.
I mean, I think back to the beginning of this, Heidi, where we were going through jury instructions and everybody knew somebody that got the packet. And there were multiple members of the families that got the packet. And it was just, how do you weed out people that don't know much about this case and could be objective? And I do think that we had that here. But again, this is an interesting part. When will we see our first appeal in the case? I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
And it's interesting too, because when you're listening to the defense, they were saying, you know, maybe she was a bad mom or maybe she was a bad wife and she made bad decisions, but that doesn't mean she was guilty of these crimes. You have to think about the fact that everyone who's on this jury comes from a family that has a mix of people that make bad decisions as well. And when I sat in and listened to some of those jurors, when they were being questioned, there were many people who had either had siblings, loved ones killed in some crime or drug-related cases too. So jurors are coming into this with life experience as well, and so they understand that families have difficult natures about them as well.
Don't mind me. I'm actually directing one of the victims' advocates here to make sure that she's okay.
On camera.
Heidi is actually the reason. Heidi Nestello does great works for a lot of victims' advocates. She's very involved. You've seen her in other media coverage. She was the reason why a lot of family and friends were able to have those extra seats as opposed to members of the public. And that was something that happened a few days ago and was definitely an interesting change there, to have all of those interested members of those families there for that emotional moment right now.
Absolutely. We're going to have continuing coverage on 2 News at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. As we get new information, we'll post it for you online as well. We're live up here in Summit County tonight.
All right, guys, great job under some pretty trying circumstances. Again, Kouri Richins guilty.
Oh, maybe not. Shit. Donna, she disappeared from the internet. Gosh dang. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all don't get dizzy. I'm about to go through. Okay, so what the fuck?
Jurors, when they were being questioned, there were many people who had either...
Hush, 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 hush. Let's go back to KUTV. Oh, I get button happy, y'all. Sorry. Let's see. Lives. Let's go here. Let's go latest. Right here. That's what it looked like.
Neighborhood-centered process where eligible...
Oh, there hers is.
Day. Well, thousands more tuned in online. How often is your audience spot on? They pick up on these details and they get it right.
I mean, can we just be honest though? How often does her audience get it right? Everybody put your votes in now. Come on, Gems.
They are often more spot on than I am.
Lauren Matthias is the
That's not a shock. That's a true statement right there. Because,
host of Hidden, a true crime podcast. She
like
has been
vehicle,
following
though.
Kouri's case for years,
Oh,
bringing
I'm
other
cold.
true crime fans along with her.
I think that in other cases I've covered, they think it's just going to be a done deal, a conviction is coming. In this situation, people are nervous.
There's just so much to this trial.
One of those people, Selena Armitage, the first person in line for opening statements and the last member of the...
She looks like the lady that hooked Lori, not Lori, Kouri and Eric, but I think I'm wrong.
Public in court for closing arguments. What do you think is the value and the importance of the public being able to watch and draw their own conclusions?
I cut my bangs like that when I was 4 one time while my mom and dad were sleeping, and the curtains. But anyways.
Oh, I think it's huge. I was just furious when the public was not going to be able to be in to closing arguments today.
Kouri Richins' family gave Selena a seat on their bench today, which was less than halfway full. She said she made a point to speak with them
I'll be
throughout
right
the
back. I
duration
gotta
of
go.
the trial.
She said,
I gotta grab me some socks. I'm freezing. I'll be right back. I'm gonna let it play.
it was that kindness that made him decide to give me a wristband.
She said she's not convinced the state has reached their burden of proof.
I feel like her financial dealings were not cool, but I do not feel like that proves that she murdered her husband.
In that the circumstantial evidence has not convinced her of Kouri's guilt.
There's just been so much, reasonable doubt that I feel like I'm still waiting for the prosecution to show me, and that still wasn't done in their closings.
Ultimately, a jury of Kouri Richins' peers will determine her guilt or innocence.
In order to see a conviction, they have to connect the dots. The jury has to connect the dots. And I think that that's what they see the state doing in there right now.
That decision must be unanimous. Now, the jury is deliberating on that verdict right now. It could come tonight. It could come tomorrow. It may take several days. This is a huge responsibility on the jury right now. And until that verdict is met unanimously, we'll be here on Verdict Watch. Reporting in Park City, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
Liv, thank you. And we've been covering this trial for weeks now. If you would like to get caught up on our reporting, you can head over to KUTV.com or our KUTV YouTube page. And now turning our attention to the weather, meteorologist Sean Kelly with that first alert forecast.
Yeah, the temperature's going up and down here today. They are warmer than yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty chilly day with many spots staying into the 40s with cloudy skies. And it's been kind of gloomy and cloudy today for much of it. But look at this. We've got some clearing out there, and it's shaping up to actually.
Oh my gosh, I just knocked shit off my desk. Pick it up. Let me pick it up. That's why God made me short, y'all. God made me short because I'm always picking shit up off the damn floor because I drop stuff all the damn time. Anybody else have good luck like me? I've worked my ass off today, by the way. I've cut grass. I've painted some more. We have the room knocked out. Holy crap, but I didn't work as hard as Donna did today, so I'm very thankful for her. Oh, the heater came on. I turned it on earlier, but it didn't actually come on. And since I had to go and turn the air conditioners off, it's so weird. We have the weirdest weather, right? So who's in here starting shit? Who is it? You broke the owl? I'm just figuring. Oh, Donna. We love you, Donna. Did you cuss? Kidding. And so it's cold. I heard that. I think maybe it was you talking this earlier today with Donna, in chat. Maybe not. But yeah, we had that bad storm roll through. Had a hurricane. I'm not a hurricane. We didn't have no damn hurricane. We had a damn tornado go over us. And so Jason was like, shelter, and the phones were going off with that annoying noise. And I mean, it did. My heart rate was like boom, 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 boom. And I was just, I don't know why. It just kind of caught me that way. And then I was like, oh shit. Okay. So then we tracked the funnel. We just have to calm down. I tend to freeze whenever there's something alarming going on. And so it's a different thing to have to, it's different. You have to adjust to these things, unfortunately. Or, you just kind of react, and not everybody reacts the same, which I kind of thought that too about Kouri. I was like, maybe she was traumatized. Maybe she just, I don't know. But that me cry or whatever, that it was like a puppy or something. And I was just like, what is that? Stop crying, please. Donna the owl didn't hurt. Poor Brutus did it.
I did break it. I didn't mean to break it, of course. I said, hey, Mom, I broke your ceramic owl. She said, I don't even know why I have that owl. So,
Hey, Denise,
so
I know, right? They don't even, I'm surprised she didn't say, I don't even know what you're talking about.
yeah,
But I get it.
I guess it's been sitting in there forever, and I hadn't even noticed it in the room. But then the other day I saw it, and I thought, I'm going to put that behind me. But it's just one less thing for me to have to move someday. My cat
Yeah.
is is trying to get on the screen.
Come
One
on,
of them.
Kitty.
Well, yeah, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I mean, I believe it, but it's.
Mm.
Uh, I'm
What?
guessing that the jury paid more attention and got. I don't know how they kept from getting mad at. Well, I'm guessing that the defense kind of irritated the crap out of me. If she had of like, you know, it's just the way they did it. I think that they could have said the same things, but not been so petty. And but anyway, that's. I'm glad they found her guilty. I'm sure that she's right now over there writing out her what do you call it, appeals.
Oh yeah. Yep. The ink's not even dried on the verdict sheet, you know, and there she's probably yep. She likes to weigh her options, it seems. She seems like maybe she has some kind of issue with what do you call that? When oh my god, I never can think of the damn word when I need to think of well, like when I need to say it. Um it's like an immediate response. What do you call that? It starts with an I think. Um it's something to do with like your brain, you know, like since Jason had his stroke, that's a traumatic brain injury. And so your reaction, like you, oh my gosh, what is it? And not
Amygdala.
no,
Amygdala?
no, not a brain part or whatever.
Oh,
Just it's a reaction. Like you, oh my gosh. Son of a bitch. Impulse, 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 impulse. Thank you. I'm gonna say it over and over again. I can remember the damn thing. All right. Not amnesia like Crush I have. Okay. Damn. Right. Yeah. Impulsive. Yeah. Totally. Totes. Impulsive. She seems to have some kind of impulsive issue. I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough. I'm not a damn doctor. So don't listen to the one on Hidden True Crime either. But anyways, so I've been digging, you know, of course, I'm a digger from way back. I've been digging since I was born. I don't pry, I just dig. But so what we're going to talk about tomorrow is whenever I went back over to what do you call it? Where is it at? Where's it at? Here it is. Let me switch my screen to here and I could change I wish that StreamYard would come up with some kind of like sensor or something so it knows when you add a damn screen. And if you don't want it shown, you click it or I don't know. There's got to be a way. But this is back in oh shit, I already forgot the date. This was back October 13th, 2023. And this was I want to say, and I need to check my date on this, but I do believe this is whenever the lawsuits were coming out about Tim Ballard. He got excommunicated, but it could very well be 2022, but it's most likely 23 because she's responding. And I mean, I say she, you can't even see who I'm talking about, but she's Illuminati in us right now. Sorry. She jumped on this live and this is right when she was about to go to Mormon Stories, do a Mormon Stories podcast with Megan Connor, with Mindy Caldwell and John DeLynn. And they did that whole expose on Visions of Glory, the Chad Daybell, Tim Ballard connection. And so my main thing is, you know, I'm wanting to, because now hindsight is 2020, right? And I can God, what the fuck are they doing? I don't know what they do sometimes. Talking about my people. But anyways, it's easier for me to go back. And since I'm having to go back anyways, and I say I'm having to because I don't trust anything that she has reported on in my family's case. Any kind of just false narrative. false, to deflect, to protect, to dissuade people from, really getting to the source of what Lori and Chad, Tim, Jody, Ruby, all the people, okay, are into, basically, that have gotten them on this side of crime, okay? And so it's like, that's what I'm just like, what is it? I feel like there's a stronger connection, or like a deeper historical connection between Lauren and Dr. John Dehlin. I feel like it goes further back. And I mean, that's where I'm digging. So, Gems, tell your master, okay? That's what I'm doing. All right. I'm never hiding anything, It is what it is. Honesty is the best policy. And some people just they're like honest or truth adjacent, like they're like allergic to that shit. especially when it comes to them and people that they protect. And obviously, and I mean, I'm not saying this because I'm full of myself, because I'm not, but I mean, it's just kind of what it looks like to me. It's definitely what it felt like to me. But like her telling people to keep me on the rails, and to tell me, that my mom was behind that. My mom was wanting to keep me on the rails. I mean, that is so, I don't know if y'all have ever thought about that, about what it would be like to have somebody like Lauren kind of gatekeeping and handling, I don't know what else to call it, butting in, controlling, driving a narrative, triangulating, all the things, okay? Praying, caca, straight up, and just causing strife. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself. In my life, at the most vulnerable and most heartache, the most painful and confusing time in my life. Like, I've told y'all before that when my Uncle Charles was murdered, I mean, this is before even the kids went missing. This is before anything. This was the initial, like, oh my God, Uncle Charles got shot. And I was just like, oh my God. It shook me so hard that I have not been the same person since. It traumatized me. I don't even know how to explain it because one minute I'm just living regular shitty life, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Just regular freaking normal life as I knew it for 40 years. And then boom, information. My mom and Ashlyn jumping out of the vehicle, running and crying and saying, Uncle Charles is dead. Uncle Charles is dead, and I'm just like, what? And it shocked me. It rocked me to my core. It pissed me. I mean, just so many emotions, right? And I never have been able to return to the person I was before that day, before July 12th, 2019. I don't even know who I was before. I have a hard time recalling things. I have a hard time with memory, just all kinds of things, all kinds of complications that have really, they affect my life right now, even to this day. So, I mean, I'm sure it's a compilation of all kinds of things, but it definitely was the cherries on top, And I mean, so that's how my life changed in an instant and has never gone back. And then, so I don't have a choice. Like, there's no choice. I don't get to flip this off. I mean, I can close out the window. I can turn my TV off. I can turn my phone notifications off. I do. But I don't get to walk away, because there's still these voids in my family now that have been there since 2019, or actually have been missing since 2019. Not the voids, but the people, the victims, Tylee, Charles, JJ, they're not here. Me and Ashlyn, my daughter, were looking at pictures the other day when she came. And I mean, we were just kind of laughing because JJ he marched to his own drum. That's just who he just was. So oblivious to the world that, it was just his world, JJ's world. And anyways, I mean, it was cute, but it's also bittersweet. And it sucks because, I mean, he'd be turning 14. Tyler would be in her early 20s, probably having babies, as a baby. I'm just saying, like, Uncle Charles would be able to hold his grandchildren, and he would be able to breathe. You know what? Just the simple, basic human right of breathing and living without some bitch come and take you out because they're just greedy and part of this belief system right here that I believe Lauren has been gatekeeping and protecting people like Visions of Glory, the book Visions of Glory. They're like Megan's whole message too. Megan Connor, hers was like the book, the book, the book, the book. It ain't the fucking book. It's the person that wrote the book, and it's the person that they're protecting. Okay. So not only are they protecting the church and people from learning the truth about the doctrine in the church. Okay. That's obviously not important enough for the church leaders to come out and say, hey, stop your shit. Okay. You're going to freaking outer darkness. Okay. No, it's like kids are murdered. People, innocent spouses are dead. Members of their own congregation. They were more active than this one on the screen. Okay. So I don't understand. I don't understand why, it just is such a privileged fucking spot to be in for these people to just pick and choose and to orchestrate shit. That's what Lori and Chad did. I don't want no part of that shit. Like, I don't need you to like put blinders on me or spoon feed me your belief system. I went and found out for myself. I found out for myself, and it's so fucking empowering. Okay. Because I know better. And that is why this one on the screen right here sees me as a threat, because I am a threat. And you fucking right I am. Okay. And that's where I stand right now. So my thing is, she fucked with my family. I didn't go mess with hers, still not messing with hers, but I am defending myself. I am protecting my loved ones, the ones who are not here anymore. And this one's okay. This one and her husband and other people just like this, whose brands, I mean, it's like a branding of they brand my family with a brand, just not a hot one, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? It's like she put her stamp or her little marker, like, I don't know, like ownership of my family's stories. And that's the only thing that continues on, right? That's the only thing that brings them true justice, in my opinion. This side of, where they're at. Okay. This side where we're living, like we're here to carry on their legacies. We're here to make sure that no one ever forgets who they are and what their names are and how much they're missed and how much value they added to life, just to our lives, but to life, to everybody that encountered them or that they encountered. I mean, they had so much to offer, and I'm just a little hurt or offended by people who put a belief system in a fucking physical building, a temple that you're not even supposed to be building temples, by the way. Okay. That they were like, no, let's not do that. And there they are. Okay. Closer, the taller they are, the closer to God. But they don't worship the same God. And I'm not just talking about Mormons. I'm talking about this whole inverted people, this whole inverted fucking, you're seeing it play out over and over and over again in all these cases, y'all. This is true crime. True crime is true, right? Well, you're seeing it play out over and over again. You're seeing projection. You're seeing just this inversion of good. Good is evil. Love is hate. Hate is love. I mean, it's over and over and over again. So it never was just a me problem or just a my family problem or even just the victim's problem. It is a world problem. It's our problem. And I mean, we need to learn how to detect it. We need to learn how to, just identify it and just work around that shit. Okay. Let's not get sucked into all that because they are vipers. Like they are vampires and they will suck the freaking life out of you, literally. And they are okay with that. And I mean, I don't know what it is, some kind of toxic narcissism, where they also are the victims. It's so weird. But I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because life was so much easier and so much better before all this shit. Before my family members were murdered, before I had to sit here and like just to make sense of my own world and what happened to my loved ones. I had to dig. I felt compelled. It was just natural gut instinct was to just dig and research and learn for myself because I can't trust people like this. And these people are the most dangerous people, in my opinion. These people are, I mean, you look at them and you think, oh, they're so wholesome. And I mean, look at Lori, I mean, she was, and I mean, this is without makeup, like just being around Lori, she was beautiful. I thought so. Now I don't, but I mean, I think Lauren can be, but she really dropped her masks for me along with a lot of you guys, just for sure this past October when she exposed herself in her 9-hour live. And then, I mean, I barely had anything for them anyways, as it was, because I'd already gone through so many years of bullshit with these people, didn't know what it quite was. I knew enough to kind of steer clear, but just associate when I had to. You know what I mean? It's like I just kind of got to a point where they were so big, they grew right off my family's case. I know it's their hard work, but your hard work means nothing when you shit on the people who got you there, who you used to get you there. You know what I'm saying? That takes it all away to me. To me, you regress. Like you don't deserve to be on this platform. You don't deserve to have 324,000 subscribers. You don't deserve even to share any kind of airspace with me or my family. Well, I mean, Uncle Jerry can decide on his fucking own, right? High five. Anyways, that's another thing. You know what I mean? Like she's okay with coming between family of people who are already going through some really hard shit. She's all right with that. And I'm not okay with anybody who's all right with that. So to me, this is the most important thing that I'm working on right now because it's a continuation of what happened to my family members, what just rocked my world in 2019 when I learned that my uncle was murdered. It has been an ongoing, they're together. Like all these things are together for me. And I know that's confusing for some people. I know that some people are like, oh my God, would you just move on? Not, like it's not bad enough that we have hidden fucking gems that come in here. I ain't never had that before. I mean, unless I have some bomb ass freaking mods, okay, which I mean, I do, but they're also not the type that hide that kind of stuff. They're not like, oh, sensitive, not that I know of, y'all don't do that. If so, I don't think they do, but I'd never had trolls. I didn't have this problem. And I was dealing at the time with just Lori and Chad, who murdered 3 members of my family. And then here's this little freaking powder puff or whatever, powder puff. I don't know what to call her, snowflake. I mean, here she comes. And then she shits on my family and stages a whole stalker narrative to avoid accountability. And then her motherfuckers are coming over here and fucking with me. I don't think so. Okay. Like that's the fucked up part. Like, and that's how you know they're vile. I mean, these people are wishing harm on me. These people were, there's some comments, where they wanted me to get sued. Like, what the fuck is that? Who are you? This isn't like a us versus them. This isn't your side or my side. I'm on the good guy and you're the bad guy. You're dark and I'm light. That's exactly what that is. When Lauren was saying stalker 50 to 11 times, that's Lori saying zombie. Okay? Dehumanizing. Not calling Christina Christina. Not showing Christina's face. She didn't want you to attach or, feel sorry or anything for Christina. She didn't. She wanted you to see Christina the way she saw Christina or sees Christina. But really, in all actuality, I believe it's how Lauren sees herself, because she wouldn't be fucking devoid of everything. And we wouldn't be here if she was a happy, full person. Okay? She's not. Hurt people. And so she looks at us or people like me as a threat. And that's her problem. That's not my fucking problem. But it has been an issue. Okay? But because I'm standing up for myself and my family, especially the ones not here to even tell their stories, and they're relying, like their memory and their legacies are relying on motherfuckers like this. I'm sorry for cussing. It just feels really good right now. Who are relying on people like this to do what? Bring justice? How is it justice if you're not telling the correct story? If you're not divulging the full story? How is it any kind of justice or right, anything good for the victim, of which I don't even know if that exists, but how do you bring justice to their stories, to their names, to their legacies, to their memories? How are you advocating if you are not divulging the whole story? Instead, you are protecting people, you're gatekeeping, you are orchestrating, and you are like a puppet master, a wannabe puppet fucking master, because you suck. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you doing that if you're, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So I'm looking at things, and I have been looking at things, especially since the October 20, last year, 2025 live that she did, where I was even in the damn chat. Okay. I was even in the damn chat. 9 hours. Well, I was only there for 8. And I zoned out so many times. My eyes, I couldn't see at the end. I was like, oh my God. Stupid. It's a freaking hoax. And so many people, we all fell for it. Hook, line, I'm not saying all, but we were there. It seemed like the whole point of her was to just drive in her narrative. It wasn't to give the other side a voice to tell their side of the story, right? If she wanted that, she would have not canceled or withdrew from her stalking injunction, a permanent one, right? The only person Lauren fears is herself. It's her reflection, okay? Lauren's not happy inside, and Dr. John doesn't see that either. He's also not happy inside, but whatever, I'm just a YouTube mom. Actually, I'm not a YouTuber. You know what I mean? I'm just here trying to make sense of my family's murders and my life, my fucking life. This has affected every aspect of my life, my family members' lives. This has affected my entire trajectory. And I feel like my family's blood was spilled for this. My mom is still on the fucking hit list. And so people can suck it, okay? If they got a problem with me looking, bye, move along, orbit back around, whatever. You're welcome to stay. But also, this is my life I'm trying to figure out, like I'm trying to pick up all these fucking pieces while people like this on the screen, like Lauren and John and all the people, they get to like just, check out. Next story, Grayson, okay. So that's the difference between me and Lauren. for sure. Well, that's just one of them. Oh, am I sitting there showing y'all the wrong screen? I think I am. I know, I'm showing you two. I have two screens. That's weird. It's been doing that lately. Anyways, I don't know. But there's something whenever I listen to this, it came on the other day and I was like, oh my God, listening to it now. She was in such a hurry. She needed to hurry up and get this information out. And I don't know if it was because she was going on Mormon Stories podcast. And Lauren is all about, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Because it gets on my damn nerves. Bad. It always has. I'm like, oh my God. You heard it here first. It's so like bloodthirsty. It's so vulture. I don't even know if vulturistic is a word, but it's so caca. It's so exploitative. It's just gross. It's gross. And it's just it's really a shitty feeling. I know there's a lot of people out there whose families are never covered. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know. I've never been, because this is the way that our family's cases played out, in the spotlight and high profile. That wasn't by choice. I mean, Larry and Mom, they went and did what I think grandparents would do, what sisters and brother-in-laws would do. I think this is what you do, and you go out and you say their names until you see action. Okay. And I love that about my family. We're not quitters. We're not quitters. Okay. But we getting old and it's okay. But, and I mean, there's gotta be better ways, but we live in a very unjust world. We do. And it sucks too. But until they can fix the system, I mean, we just have to continue. We just have to be resilient people. We just have to keep going. We just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other, one breath after the next, and repeat. And just try to stay on this side of the daisies. That's all. And oh my God, I hope not. I hope not, Miss Mojo. You take it back. Where's Donna? We're gonna swipe your comment now. I'm picking. I'm messing with Donna. Hey, Dr. Vonda K. Yeah. Yep. And again, like I'm not trying to. Of course, I'm not inciting anybody. Definitely not 12,000 people in chat. To go mob somebody. I don't know how she gets away. I don't know how she got away with it. I really don't. And it really is frustrating. And I understand that it sucks to see 324,000 subs. Not that I'm not fucking jealous. So like, I just want anybody who comes in here, finds their way in here and stumbles in here, and is like, you're just jealous. I'm not even gonna say nothing to that because you're obviously ignorant, like open your freaking eyes. Can't do it for you, So anyways, I know I've become a lot, I'll say a lot cynical, and I don't like that about myself. I don't like that. I do have a lot of compassion still. It's just aggravating, like you get to a point where you're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I just truly don't give a fuck anymore. Like it just becomes old and repetitive and it's like Groundhog Day over and over and over again. And it's like the same thing. And it's like, okay, when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that is literally insanity. And I don't want no part in it. Like, I can't stand that. I didn't know what that was before. I do now. And so thus I do orbit. Now I orbit like a mofo. Okay. But I don't want to do the same thing over and over again and keep coming up with nothing. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in the name of Charles, Tylee, and JJ. I'm not family to Tammy and Joe, but I mean, I will advocate for them every step that I can without stepping on other people's toes, like I don't want to do that. I don't want to disrespect anybody. It just, there's gotta be some kind of remedy to this. And I will figure it out one day. Okay. I'm not saying I definitely don't have it now. I know that raising awareness about the bad behavior is the only thing I can think of to do, and just to continue digging into what's making her tick. Why did they show up? And what was it? She said that I'm talking about Lauren. She claims that she saw the kids missing story when it came out from Rexburg, actually from the AP News article. She keeps talking about an AP News article. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. But again, I found out because it's my family. So it's not like we got the news the same way. I wasn't scrolling. And she claims that she told her dad, like, "Oh my God, can you believe this?" Anyways, that's Lauren's story. Okay, that's one of them. And then she goes on to say that she goes on to a podcast that she actually helped co-found, and this was with Richie T. Stedman, and it's a podcast, a Mormon faith-based podcast called The Cultural Hall. And so she helped co-found that. But I didn't know that. It's not because she disclosed it. It's not because she's an open fucking book. No. Difficult research, okay? And you guys know we've done this I'm not taking credit. I never want to take credit, because this community is, y'all all bring the pieces. We all have pieces, and we all just like, oh wait, does this fit? And until we figure it out. But we do it together. I don't do this by myself. You don't do it by yourself, be honest, We just kind of work together. Information shouldn't be is it gate kept? How do you say that? Gatekeeped? Shouldn't gatekeep information. But people like Lauren build their Patreon channels off of FOIA docs that they pay one flat, price per police department, basically. Some are more expensive than others, but trust me, that has been made back a million times over, if not way more. Okay. So it's like, why put it on your Patreon wall? Why not put it on your Instagram? Why not put it, you have a website. Why not put it there? Yeah. So there's so many other ways besides building a fucking brand off of just other people's misfortunes and the worst days of their lives. Okay. So, I understand that you have to do some things, but no. I'm calling bullshit on Lauren. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Kind of like crowdfunding, except not the funding, right, Lindsay? Let me light my cigarette. Sorry. I didn't even know I was going to talk about this. I wasn't planning on it. It just kind of is coming out. And thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for, being with Donna too. She's been wonderful, as are all my mods. I love you guys. But just, there's, I don't know. And just, this is something we're going to go over tomorrow. This is something I'm planning on doing. I was going to do it today. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but again, I just couldn't get it together. And I hate that, because I feel like I'm slipping, and I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm always digging. Sometimes I'm like, do I have enough? And I don't just have an expose every damn Sunday. I hope people don't have those expectations of me either. Sometimes I like to just shoot the shit like this and read your comments like you're doing now. I got your back too, girl. and just it's collaborating, you're bringing your minds together and you're saying, oh yeah, and you just kind of spitball, and a lot of things come from that. There's something that jogs your memory. Lord knows I need help jogging mine. I need to jog too. Plus, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I want to know how far back Lauren Matthias and Delenn go back. I want to know that. I feel like there's something more to Delenn. And I mean, I've watched him, not just watched, viewed. I've watched, I've observed. I've tried to read into that, like why how do I get to this information? I do follow the evidence. I do follow the fucking evidence. But these people are allergic to it. I'm telling you. Okay? They are not the same kind of people. Okay? Their truth and my truth, probably two different things. I don't fabricate evidence. I watched 9 hours of evidence fabrication, okay, and narrative. And so I'm like, oh, that's what makes me look at trials different now, y'all. I'm not playing. Watching her craft 9 hours and piece things together, and you're like, oh yeah, I was one of them. Like, oh shit, you got a stalker, girl. But I mean, whatever, what can I do? I was just there to support because she looked like she was in distress. Okay. So I think there were quite a few of us that were there and we were like, something's wrong. Something's off. And perhaps that's it. But I tell you what, who's never been there for me. Warren has never been there for me. She's been shitting on me the whole time, incognito. Okay. So anyways, but like her as a reporter, she's what? She's like, what, 45 years old, maybe? I don't know exact age. I know she had a birthday in January. Happy birthday, girl. But what I'm saying is, how has she, I mean, because I've been reading descriptions over and over again, the Thrive description. I've been reading channel descriptions, just kind of make a note of is anything changing here? What's their spiel? Is it the same? Has it changed? Are they kind of conforming? I know they love conformity, but what's going on here? And I'm just trying to make sense of it. I don't know exactly what to tell you because I'm still trying to analyze that and figure that out, sift through all that. They have like what? They've been here since 2020, like a lot of other people. You've got Mike King came on the scene around 2020, Chris McDonough. You've got Web Sleuth came on the scene 2020. I understand it was COVID, but was it just that? I came here not because of COVID. I came here because this is where my family's case was being discussed a lot. It was on Facebook. I didn't know really how to work Twitter at the time. Still don't really know how. But I mean, this is where it pushed me. This is where I found myself a lot, was YouTube. And then I was like, okay. And I just kind of carved my way slowly, and didn't even know if I had anything to offer, if I had any kind of whatever, so I don't know. I still don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just here trying to make sense of shit. And I mean, that's about all I got for you. I don't have anything in merch drenched in just, I don't have all that. I like to cut up. I like to make the best of it. Because it's really shitty. It's really some hard things to have to face. I mean, looking at the Richins family today, at the verdict, nothing brings your family member back. As much as it's so bittersweet. It's like polarizing. Because that person is someone you loved at one point. And that was part of your family. I mean, she has her last name, like, holy crap. Lori, was someone that, I mean, my daughter was around a lot. And I mean, it just is so it's so eerie and surreal. I know I hate that word, but surreal. And it's regular folk. Okay. It's regular people. We're nothing special. I'm nothing special. I'm just here. I'm Crusha K under Crusha, right? Only because Jolene named me that. But I mean, we're just a regular family, regular dysfunctional, we got our dysfunction. We've got it. But it touches. I mean, we're the farthest away from a damn LDS church. And I tell you, it came busting down my door and left a Jesus card for me, you know? So I'm good. I'm good. Like, no, thank you. But I mean, so back to Lauren, she goes on this cultural hall show with a guy that she co-founded the show, I think in 2011, 2012. I know it was like August 17th. I think it might have been Uncle Charles's birthday-ish. I don't know. And I mean, so that's a long time ago. And I'm sitting here because I'm researching into like what makes a digital missionary. Okay. A digital missionary. How effective is that? You have people who belong to an organization that want to go global, that are global, by the way. They're globally minded. Yeah, I know, Googie. It is earned, not given. Yeah. Well, LM has never been here for you. Never conform, right? You end up looking like that on TV. I mean, on the screen, whatever. Yeah. But I know I'm different than she is. Because after all this, through all this, I still don't wish anything bad on her. She does a pretty good job at bringing it on upon herself, okay? And I don't wish that either. I hope she gets her shit together. I hope she can find joy, and stop shitting on people. Stop exploiting people. Stop preying on people. Ugh. It just, I really do. And I'm sure I'm not going to speak for my family, They have their own voices. But that's the family I come from. But so she goes on this podcast in 2020, in April of 2020, April 16th, I think, which is around the time that Melanie Gibb interviews with Nate Eaton, and it becomes like a Dateline episode even. And I'm like, what? We're learning things. And I'm wanting to freaking reach out and like touch her. And I'm saying that in a very covert way. I'm talking about Melanie Gibb. I wanted to reach out and touch her. And like, you're like figuring out that she's a grown ass woman with kids of her own that left her own husband. And she's flying pillow to post with another man who's also left his wife and his freaking kids. And, you're like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, it's a cult. And I'm like, is this a cult? Is this what a cult is? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm doing research into cults and cult-like behavior and da-da-da. And then there ends up being multiple cults. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. There's a big one and then there's the smaller ones. And anyways, I've done a lot of learning since then, a lot of understanding since then too. And yeah, they birth baby cults. And then there's a big daddy one that they can still belong to, that they still belong to and they protect. And it's like the church, in my opinion, the way it looks to me in a lot of different negative situations that they find themselves in, as far as protecting abuse, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. They tend to give, and the shell companies. Remember the 13 shell companies where they were like not paying, was it taxes or something to the SEC, where they didn't pay it for 20 years. Why? They didn't want their members to know how much they were making off of, tithing. and they didn't want to be told how to spend it. And I mean, for real, I've heard around the streets, of all these years that the church is saving up for a rainy day or what is it? A fire, not a fire fund, but I don't know, something like that. And also I've heard for the second coming. And I'm like, just use your logic in this. What the fuck Jesus don't need no damn money. Okay. Like, no. So it's like, okay. Then I start figuring out that, oh my God, these people are trying to they're trying to create, they're trying to rush it. They're trying to cause some kind of big movement, and not a bowel movement. It's worse than that. They're trying, and I mean, I'm still like looking at it like as if there's an apocalypse, that's how they're looking at it, but that's not at all how they're looking at it. I've learned that this group of people, underground people, I guess you could say, that belong to a secret organization and not just the church. There are other ones. Okay. With, like-minded beliefs and practices and talk. Masons, I mean, they go hand in hand, especially in the church. I mean, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I mean, in their temple, that's what they use. They have Joseph Smith. He copied a lot. They say he copied, but he was also a master mason in 3 days. He became a master mason in 3 damn days. Whatever. Anyways. So I've learned that they're accelerationist and that they are usually considered what Lauren would call a doomsday prepper. But what that actually is, if they belong to this group, they still tell themselves that. Heard it yesterday. Oh shit, Huggy. Oh my God. Tell them to stop. Coco, huh? Tell them to stop. Skull and Bones, Allen Key, Rotary Club, Shivers, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. Thank you, the Sacred Secret Society. I love that. The not so secret or sacred. Yeah, I get it. Man, they got to stop. But that's because this club is bigger. And Lori and Chad, Tim Ballard, Jody, Ruby, all these, Lauren, Tom, I'm just saying, I'm going to have to say allegedly here, they belong to the secret organization, the Inverted Club, if you will. One of them, okay? And they all have they work in lockstep. It's the weirdest, craziest thing I've ever seen. But it's also fascinating to me too. Like just to see how people who don't even know each other but belong to the same organization, but yet they still work towards the quote unquote greater good. They do. I'm telling you, I'm like, holy shit. And it's like they push the conspiracy forward drop by drop. Literally, they say that in the Jesuit oath, drop by drop, drop by drop. Anyways, all right, back to Lauren. Especially with Dr. John being involved with the university. That's where I'm leaning. Okay. So she goes on. So this is, she says that she saw the kids' stories when it came out initially, right when it came out. She saw it on the AP News, blah, blah, blah. She saw Julie Rowe, December, 28th or 26th or something like that, where she's defending Chad. She's like talking shit about my uncle. Oh my God. I didn't know who this woman was. I was just learning I found myself on YouTube back then, but didn't know where the hell I was or what I was doing or how to even send a super chat. I didn't know anything. And so they don't have their podcast at that time. And then in April of 2020, she goes on a podcast that she helped co-found, but she had, since left, of course, because she co-founded that with Richie T. Stedman in 2011 and then parted ways. She also dated him. So there's that. Whatever. She likes redheads. And then So then April rolls around. It's a episode called Where Are They Now? And so Richie is like interviewing or, having guests. And one of those guests is Lauren. Other guests are other past people who have co-hosted or whatever on the podcast with him. And this is like mid-April 2020. Lori and Chad had been going strong in the news now at that point in time for 4.5 months straight up. Where are the kids? Where are the kids? I mean, it was pretty gnarly. Okay. Not cool. It was just massive, and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and people were anticipating, people were doing just like we do now with Nancy Guthrie, with Summer Wells, with oh my God, I can't think of all the kids' names. Sebastian. I mean, just all these cases, Charlie Kirk, all these things that have just been playing out all around us. Okay. Which I come to find out, I believe that our case too, I think Lori and Chad were also used as a PSYOP, psychological operation, been happening for a very long time, for decades now, turns out. Anyway, so whenever Lauren goes on there, she's just audio only, and she's catching up with Richie T. Stedman, and she's just, I don't know, she sounds like Lauren, right? And where she was at that point in time, you could hear her little baby boy. He was not 8 years old. He was little, running around in the background, somewhat. And then she's saying that they lived in St. George. She got married again. This is her second marriage. She got married again. And this time it was with John Matthias. And so they're living in St. George, Utah. That's where Lauren lived in April of 2020. And it's like, So as much as Lauren loves to do a humble brag, okay, not one time did she mention anything about true crime, podcasting. Not one time did she mention anything about Lori and Chad Daybell. Not one time did she mention anything about Tylee and JJ. Where are the kids? She knows people with freaking podcasts. You see her reaching out? No, I don't either. I just realized that. She hadn't even started her podcast yet. She hadn't sat around the good old kitchen table that she half-ass shares with John. Okay. On set, probably on set at that point. So you're telling me she moves there? It's like she's showing the house that day. She's like talking to Richie, and she's like catching up. And again, not one mention of any of this stuff. This big case that just, she gravitated to, right? So then she tells, him that they're showing their house in St. George later that day, like in an hour, while she's on the episode. And then they're going to move to Vegas. Okay. Which is where they're at, allegedly. And so April, May, the kids are found June 9th. So a month and a half later, the kids are found, a little over a month and a half, June 9th. And then after that, they come out with their first podcast. So it's like, okay, how do you go from 0 to like 85 in no time? Like, how do you go from that to expert status? Literally becoming and claiming like some authoritative role, ownership. I don't know what it is. How do you go from just, I'm a mom, I'm a YouTube mom, that shit. I'm a limited public figure. How do you go from that? We're just sitting around our kitchen table to, defining the case. Everything they came out with, every buzzword, every one of those stupid like hashtag, you know what I mean? Like those things. Trending, if you will. Did y'all know that Annie Elise is she followed, like that's what she does, trends? I'm like, is that a thing? It is. It like forecasting, which is an interesting word, casting, right? But I've just remembered that. Nothing to do with this, but kind of. So it's like, okay, what's going on? Then you hear, like, I heard Christina's audio from April 9th of 2025 of Lauren saying that she was just a loser. She was overweight. That's what she said. She said, I feel overweight. I'm a loser without a podcast. What? Those words have never fell from my mouth. Oh my God. I just am a loser with no podcast. First off, you're on YouTube, you have a channel. Okay. Which is another interesting word. But it's like, what? I don't understand. Anyways, it's splitting hairs. How do you do this? Anyway, I don't even know where she came from, is what I'm saying. How have you been a reporter for 15 years? So what'd you do in your 20s? Where are your 20s, by the way? Were you in Israel? Were you in Romania, or both? Were you in both of them? Did you go any other fucking foreign country? What is it, Lauren? Wallen. What is it about you, Wallen? She is guilty salt and pepper. I get it. I know a lot of our families are Masons. Go look at grave sites. Holy shit. Yeah, it's wild. I know there's some damn oh my God, Shriners. Yeah. I'm like, I still haven't walked it back and traced it back to my family line yet, because I'm just like, I don't want to know right now. I ain't got time. I ain't got time right now. I will, though. I just have a feeling, it's like that gut feeling. Anyways, but I just want to know, did you graduate university or UVU? Yeah. Did you graduate from there when you were 30? And then if so, why did Richie T. Stedman, why did he hook you up with your first, reporting job or whatever the frick it was? I forget what it was now. But I mean, why? I don't help me understand. Like, what were you doing in your 20s? Wasn't she married? But then I'm very fuzzy, and I don't feel like spending $35 damn dollars on her book. Okay, I really don't. There's got to be somewhere online. I know I found Visions of Glory once. I'll have to do some digging. But not that I want to read it, but I want to know more about Aunt Ruth and how she furnished the damn Pentagon. I want to know a lot more about Auntie Ruth and how, again, she lived in Tucson and her husband was like a naval, I don't know, kind of like Savannah Guthrie's brother, something like that. I don't know, something like that. High up in the military. And yet her Aunt Ruthie furnished the Pentagon? Come on, girl. What? Get out of here. Get out of here. And are you tied to Romney or not? I just have a lot of questions. And this is, look, to give it away. I wonder, this is my burning question. I wonder, and I suspect actually that Lauren is like some kind of little hidden elite, if you will, like a lower class elite. I don't know. But, or maybe put in place, or both. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm asking questions. Was she put in place, or did she appoint herself to be the know-all be-all of the Daybell, Vallow, Tim Ballard, Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby Franke, Tom Harrison, Visions of Glory? She owned it, right? No wonder she didn't have a problem throwing me everybody's like, she gave you a shout out on Mormon Stories podcast when they did their whole Visions of Glory expose. I can smoke them and all their shit. Okay, they're just better spoken. That's all. And they're ex-Mormon and Mormon. She's a Mormon going on an anti-Mormon podcast. Y'all don't realize you don't do that. Like, you don't do that as a believing Mormon. You don't go there. You don't go to Mormon Stories podcast. Because John Dehlin is the damn Antichrist, okay, to them. But yet she does a news story on his damn his quote unquote excommunication. And and you didn't know any of it. You didn't know about any Julie Rowe and Chad Daybell, but yet when I go look at Cultural Hall, the podcast that she helped found, and I'm sitting there seeing Kate Kelly, Russell Brunson. I'm seeing what's the guy that played in that freaking movie? Oh my God, The Oath. I'm seeing again Julie Rowe. Did I say that? I'm kind of getting lost in my sauce. But I'm seeing Bonnie Cardone, whatever the hell her name is. Why hasn't Lauren covered her? Oh, we're planning on it. When? Just like you were planning on the Hamblin case? A little too close, huh? I think Lauren doesn't like to cover those that she protects. The hidden hand gesture. Yeah. Hidden. That's all in of itself, right? Right? I mean, yeah. Black, white, red. This, I forget what this thing's called. It starts with an A. It's crazy. Got the gems. You know what? I found an article the other day with by Bonnie Cardone. I mean, it was like quoting Bonnie Cardone, and a Relief Society. She's like over the University of West Virginia. I don't remember. I think it's West. It's one of the Virginias. I don't know. And she said, it's our little hidden gem. And I was like, shut the front door. Shut the front door. Did she just say hidden gem? And then I'm like, okay, well, Lauren just named it Hidden Gems because, Idaho, Pocatello, that's where she's from, or she lived there a great deal of time. She's got roots there. So does Adam Steed. And then Frank, yeah. I mean, just all the things start running in together. And I'm just like, what is really going on here? Because you think with all these people, they don't know all these other Mormons. But I think they either, and I saw it with somebody that Lauren was talking about Shanna Gardner or something. And somebody in her Patreon chat said, this is a while back after CrimeCon. September 2025. And she said something about, oh, well, who's your relief, whatever, who's your cousin's relief society? I don't know. That's what they do. They calling drop and they name drop. If they're calling dropping, which means, oh, he's the bishop and he's, blah, blah, blah. It's like who in this area. Okay. And that's what they do. They network. They are a networking group of people. And it's all insular. And it helps to keep it helps and it hurts. It helps by keeping the secrets inside. It hurts by, again, keeping us outside. And it's like, what do you do? Like, how do you cross the threshold of just the cultural and the language barrier? Because if you're talking about freaking being like Nephi and you're freaking talking about seeing Jesus Christ, but that really just means you're in a secret society in the temple, then we got problems. And so my aunt, I literally watched her go through, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 murder trials, found guilty, 7 life sentences, got the death penalty removed. She still comparing herself to the damn Nephites. And so I'm like, what? How are you going to go this far, girl, and not just give it up already? Like, give it up. Like, it's over. Yeah. How are you going to do that? You're just like, nope. Anyways, they take an oath. Whatever. I guess it's more important. I don't know. I'm so grateful that I wasn't born in that culture. There's good people, though. There are good people. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. There are some very shitty ones too. But that's in every religion. I'm just saying it just because some people can't get around it. Okay. Yes, that accounts for everywhere. That I don't care if you're in scuba class or something. Okay. There's shitty people everywhere. Okay. There's good people there too. Just the shitty ones really outshine, the good ones. Anyways, yeah, y'all have a great night too. I'm about to go too because I'm tired. And there's a freeze warning. Oh, mama Jesus, are you kidding me? It's gonna freeze tonight. Oh shit. I better go get my paintbrushes and my paint rollers. I washed them, rinsed them out real good. And I mean, when's it supposed to fall? Freeze warning. That's wild. We live in some bipolar, tripolar times, y'all. Feels like 34. It's 45 degrees. The winds have been whipping here. They're finally calming down to 8 miles per hour. Feels like here's a number for you. Feels like 33. Humidity 32. Well, it won't drop below that. Your mom said it's Mormon, right? I had my Aunt Ginger, she's from Mississippi. I mean, but she's on my dad's side, the Trahan side. And she has always she's always been so tiny, but she's got like the biggest voice, as far as not loud, but she's very protective. And like I could always just go to Aunt Ginger. Well, all this shit happened and we were talking about it. I mean, this is a couple years ago. And I mean, she lived all the way in Mississippi, and I brought up Mormons, and she was like, "Oh, well, the Mormons came and brought us, because she lived with her dad and her brother, so she didn't have her mom around. But she was like, "Oh, they came and brought us whatever, And she was like, "Don't be talking about Mormons." And I was like, "Oh shit, she's not even Mormon. She got married Catholic, Like she was like, "Don't tread on me." And I was like, "Damn." She knew what was at stake. She knew what was lost and murdered. And I mean, damn, it was just, I know I'm not explaining that very well, but you get the point. I'm glad she escaped before you were born. I actually have somewhat, but I have ADHD and I have like a digging problem. So I looked up the other day. What was it? What was it? Oh my God, it brought me to all kinds of shit. And I can't help but say, well, what is this? And then I highlight it and then boom, I'm gone. I never come back for days. And so I like for other people to extract it, because I'll burn so much time getting lost in the sauce, just trying to figure out what the hell I'm looking at. But I'm trying to remember what it was I found. I looked up Brian Black, which is Tim Ballard's alter ego, the name he used, because there's the Leon Black, and I'm just like, oh shit. We looked up Tim Ballard, didn't see that, but Brian Black came up like I don't even know how many times. But I mean, I'm trying to remember now. If it was just Brian's, it would show. I don't know. Some weird stuff. Well, good night, Rombo. I saw you early this morning when you were in, I want to say, Wall and Quime, when you were in their chat. And I was like, look at Rombo. I love you, Rombo. Glad you're here. Yes, they cover up abuse. Big time. Big time. I remember looking into the LDS hotline, helpline, whatever, hurtline. And this is around the time that Lori, my aunt, former aunt, Valo Daybell, she went to the mental hospital or whatever because she was incompetent. And she somehow was assigned, according to her, by her mental health clinician to call and get a new attorney. And I was like, anyways, I wasn't there, so I didn't say anything. But I mean, so turns out this is what she did. She like called a number that she claims her mental health technician gave to her, and she got Daniel McConkey. I'm like, what? How'd you do that, girl? I bet you she called the helpline. I think so. That's just my gut instinct, and I really did. I don't know. It just kind of aligned at the same time. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not like we want them releasing videos. No, we don't, in a way that hurts victims. But there are perpetrators in those videos, and the DOJ is protecting them. Absolutely. And it's all part of the plan, in my opinion. I was one of those that people were fighting for the Epstein files, and I'm like, I don't need to see the Epstein files to know the vile motherfuckers that are in the Epstein files. And I mean, Tylee and JJ, I know people don't connect these things together, but I do. I connect the same like-minded behavior, the same cult within a cult within a cult within a cult. These beliefs and practices, this is what it is. It's not just the LDS Church. The LDS Church just has their own, I don't know, brand. I don't know. They have their own flavor. But I mean, it's just another pillar in the 5 pillars that make up, the NWO. It's huge. It's way above the church. Yeah, I agree. All of them. All of them. They are all in the club. I feel you. Look, we're right here. Trust me. I know. I don't know everything, but I mean, I've been digging for almost 7 years now. There's a lot of people connected to our case that are in the files, and around the higher ups in the LDS Church for sure. I mean, of course, that's my focus, but I follow the Diddy case because I was like, okay, if I'm looking at Tim Ballard, he's being accused. Oh, he's pretending to be what I see as he's a trafficker, right? In my opinion, allegedly. And I mean, he was accused by people he allegedly harmed, using the same pickup line that Chad Daybell used with Lori. We were married before in a past life in order to justify having sex. Who has to justify sex? Mormons. Why? Soaking. Just one word, soaking. That's why. And so if they're going to go so far as to do an act of soaking just to get around and make a loophole so that they can stay virgins or whatever. I don't know. Again, splitting hairs, pubic hairs. Okay. I'm sorry. That was bad. That was bad. I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm so sorry. That was not nice. I'm sorry. But they go that far just to not have sex, but have sex, but not have sex. I don't even know. It does not make sense to me. Or the Provo push, none of those things. But so if they're doing that to still consider themselves clean, wholesome, virgins, whatever, in their minds, what are they doing with taxes and just sell? I mean, Utah's the fraud capital of the world, not states, world. So it's like, thank you, Dr. Fonda. What are they doing to go and find loopholes around all the laws, So I'm just like, holy shit. To me, that says a lot, Thank you so much, Dr. Vonda Kay. You're so sweet. I love seeing you here. I love seeing you around. You ain't got to be here. I just love seeing you around. Yeah, soaking is so crazy. It is. Have you heard of a channel called Telltale? Yeah. Owen. It's a guy who was in Jehovah's Witness, but he talks about LDS as well. Yep. I haven't seen him in a while. I used to watch him in the beginning. He actually had a phone call one time, like on his answer machine, and somebody called and they were like, "Oh my God, this Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell." Okay, I mean, they were going off on the answer machine, and anyways, he just was like, "Yeah, I don't remember what happened. I don't even know if he dug into it. It's been so long. I buried it somewhere in my mind." Thank you again, Dr. Vonda, for gifting 5 difficult research memberships. So appreciated. Never expected. Why is Tim calling Dershowitz a great guy? Because it takes one to know one. No, I don't know. I know that's a rhetorical question. I feel like it is, but oh man. Oh my God. I was watching the Jury on Prime fake documentary about jury duty. It was so good last night. And they talked about soaking. Oh my God. Jury duty? What the hell? Oh my gosh. That is crazy. That's crazy. See, I love it though. Love always truth. That's just telling me that you're researching into what it's like to be on jury duty during the Kouri Richins, trial. So I love that. I love that about you guys, because we don't just take it for face value. And I just really appreciate that. Yeah, he's gonna get out soon, isn't he? I am very fearful, very fearful. I can't say it. Very fearful for his victims and everyone. What? No, splitting the pubic hairs. Is that the one that got you belly flat or what? I'll be here all week, unfortunately, and I don't know. Definitely not soaking though. You ever heard that song? It always never mind. I have like Tourette's, I swear. I mean, Clarence Carter, right? I'd be stroking. Well, they be soaking, right? Anyways, none. I'm just very juvenile. I haven't matured all the way or something. I don't know. Ah, thank you. It is a weird. I talk about some weird shit here. I mean, yeah, it's very weird. But thank you for your subscription, and we welcome weird too. Yep, we appreciate you. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. It's really wondering about the jury last night, and I saw that documentary and started watching it. It was so awesome. I was by myself laughing out loud. We need to, and we've talked about this before. I think the last time we went live, well, me and I don't know, sometime during the week, and we were talking about getting maybe a Kick channel or something like that where we can kind of watch some things together because you can't do that on YouTube. Because you'll get dinged and taken down and all that. But there's ways, there's loopholes. Thank God, right? I don't know if that's, here we are. Can't beat them, join them, I guess. I don't know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know, that's what I've been doing all damn day. Donna called me earlier. She's like, there's the verdicts in. And I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was like mowing. I'm like, I'm mowing. And I was like, it's a push mower. And I was like, just go live. Just go live. I'll meet you later. Here we are. Sorry. Not talking about Kouri. But I really think it's cool that her damn sentencing date is on Eric's birthday. Straight up. I was like, whoa. They said, the judge said no. He said May 25th. And I was like, that's JJ's birthday. And then he said May 13th. I was like, that's Eric's birthday. I'm like, holy shit. You know how it works. It's crazy how it works. I want to watch those, the cop from, oh my gosh, let me pull it up so I don't sit here and fumble over my words for 15 minutes. For fuck's sake. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, let me not remind me of Instagram. Okay. Just a moment. Just open a new damn tab, Krisha. All right. I'm going to just show you. Ooh. Okay. Share this tab. This guy. He was like, I've known about him from all the Hamblin Levitt stuff, right? The SRA. What is that? Documents. Look. Well, no, that's not a good one. He's on a show. There, 60 days in. I want to watch this shit. Not because I'm interested, but because I feel like I need to watch it. Because I don't like it. It stinks. And that just like what's going on with the Nancy Guthrie case with what is it? Nano, whatever his name is. This guy. But I know him from this. Oh, well. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's a classic. This is what got me looking this way. Anyways, where's the damn news arc? I mean, the video. No. Oh, I hate when they do this shit. Bury the links. All right. Let me, God dang it. They always make me move around. Open tabs I don't want to open. David Levitt. Ooh. Cannibalism. Here's your Epstein. Here is your Epstein. Hold on. Let's see. I don't think it's that one, but I mean, it could be. Look at this. Ugh. Let's look. I've never seen this.
Folks. All right, click the links for Odyssey. Join the other channel or support channel, the various other links, Gap, Telegram, etc. So Utah attorney David Leavitt says he's wrongly accused of cannibalism amid his reelection bid, and that the sheriff should resign for looking out for. So what happened?
You just have to listen to
it. Basically Epstein type of stuff. But it also allegedly involves some cannibalism. The sheriff is kind of focusing on the Epstein type investigation more so than the accusations of cannibalism. You know, it's not like people. Oh, it's a wild conspiracy theory to accuse people of being Epsteins. But just
not anymore, bud.
Epstein Island, that weird building, that child sacrifice building on Epstein's Island, that Ghislaine Maxwell testified about, and she's in prison, and Epstein was in prison before he.
This is back in 2022.
And oddly enough, his partner in the French prison was also deleted. But the funny thing about that case with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein was so she got locked up, he got locked up. So who are the people on the flight logs? I mean, some of the flight logs are public. Okay, that's one thing, but. So who were the guys who more so than just flew to the island? Because you can fly to the island for business conferences. I get that. It's not all nefarious. Not by a long shot. But who were the guys who were there that the girls were being abused by? Who are those guys? Oh, well, the judge.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. Utah County Attorney David Leavitt denounced the county sheriff, which is the one I just showed you, Mike Smith. For opening an investigation into reports of people cannibalizing young children and engaging in ritualistic sex trafficking in the county between 1990 and 2010. I'm like, why would they stop? Chad is from these counties, he's from this county, one of them. And Ruby and Kevin raised their kids there too, Springville, Utah. The county sheriff's office announced the investigation Tuesday, urging victims to come forward with information. Well, I read the documents, but a lot of people, they want to discredit them. But people are taking them a little more seriously now. I'm trying, that's one, and this is another one where he's like, did you cannibalize anybody? Anyway, this got my attention because when Tylee and JJ were found, I mean, the way that they were found, was, egregious was one word the prosecutor described it as, especially Tylee. And again, I'm not trying to be gruesome or anything, but, we don't even have her body was not found whole. And that bothers me. It bothers me because that's just, I don't know. It bothers me. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, you don't just, you don't just kill kids, first off. You don't just find Tylee or, a girl's body. She's 16 years old. You don't find a body in that shape like that. That's ritualistic shit. Then the prosecutor said was due to their, what did he say? To their beliefs or whatever. I don't know. He kicked the door open and for the, was it ritualist? I'm forgetting, y'all. I'm gonna have to go look. But anyways, he kicked it open and I was like, oh my God. Okay. And I say kicked it open because it's like the beliefs. They justified it for their beliefs. Okay. And so it's like, that's when I was like, okay, so I'm going in, And I mean, when I saw this news story, and this is back in 2020, well, this one says February 7, 2023, but this is on Adam Herbett's channel. He's not just a news reporter. He's a news reporter for, I think he's since moved because he told mom, but Fox 13 News in Utah, Salt Lake City. He actually had Brandon Boudreaux. He was married to Melanie Boudreaux Pulowski, Lori Vallow Daybell's other niece, her dark niece. I'm just kidding. But Yeah, so I mean, I like Adam. I did. He's actually one of the only reporter that I reached out to right around Lori's trial in Idaho, the first one, Idaho in 2023, with what I had found to that point. I didn't give it like I didn't just, hit him with all the information, but I was just like I kind of stuck my toe in the water. Because you can't just trust anybody with all this crap, especially then because we didn't have Epstein files. So I guess that is one good thing about having the Epstein files, whatever, even in the shape they're in now. It gives validity to a lot of these ritualistic stories, and I recognize ritual abuse a lot now. It's everywhere. It's just not charged or convicted as that. So it's not just out there, it's not just so easily found. A lot of people have a weird time just wrapping their head around that, and I'm like ritualistic and satanic. They labeled it satanic, that's them. And it is very effective, like the False Memory Syndrome Foundation. But anyways,
To your campaign.
David Levitt he's now a former Utah County prosecuting attorney who he was chasing Nicholas Rossi, aka Arthur Knight, aka Nicholas Alaverdian, and like 16 other whatever fake names. And anyways, who faked his own death and everything, but they did actually convict him. I know, let me come back home. Let me come back and rein it in. David Levitt, he's brothers with the former governor of Utah a couple times. What is his name? Blanking. Michael, maybe, or something. I don't know. Anyways, the governor, Levitt, his family's tied to a lot of big money, big, powerful money. And he's also related to this douche right here, David Hamblin. Down the line, but they're related. And here, let me look.
It is. I charged a guy with a felony.
Is it true that the defendant served a mission with your brother?
He did. My brother and the defendant don't have a personal relationship.
This is very concerning to me. I was concerned about it being a conflict of interest.
He donated $49.99 to my campaign. If you can see some preferential treatment there, I'd like you to point it out.
He's accused of dismissing criminal charges against his friend and campaign donor.
Now, tonight, multiple attorneys say the way he handled the case should be concerning.
I'm just saying that he is a huge supporter of you and fan. This is very concerning to me.
More than a month before Utah County Attorney David Levitt had to face questions from the media.
Is it true that the defendant served a mission with your brother?
He did.
He was answering those same questions from the alleged victim, who wanted to know why her stalking suspect, Mark Stewart Allen, was so cozy with the prosecutor and eventually dropped charges.
Really obsessing about this. I know because I saw it 3 times a week, or 3 times a day sometimes.
Yeah.
When I was running for Attorney General.
Levitt told her the suspect donated $49.99 to his campaign for Utah Attorney General, but insisted that was not a problem.
He should not have.
Trying to volume boost it. Did it stop? Oh, it did. Hold on. I'm sitting here playing with the volume booster. I mean, can y'all hear it? Because it's very low over here. Let me share this again. Damn it. Damn it. All right, let me try this again.
My brother forwarded it on to me.
The defendant's strategy clearly was to get Levitt directly involved. That's the most suspicious thing, the degree to which people were coming up to him and said, hey, David, dismiss this case, handle it this way.
Levitt says the suspect reaching out did play a role in him taking on the case personally.
It certainly was one of the reasons.
He says another reason is the original prosecutor refused to drop charges against the suspect.
I said, Lance, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, I'll take the case. I'll do it because I care about the victim.
No, you don't.
You're his boss.
I'll take the case.
Well, it's my case. It's not his case. It's my case.
He says dropping charges was the smartest decision because the trial was being delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and he thought it would get the suspect to stop harassing the victim.
My job
slap on the wrist
is to fashion some sort of protection for this woman.
But he says when that did not work, he refiled the charges and that he still does not view any of his ties to the suspect as a conflict of interest.
Can they bully their way
No.
into a prosecutor giving the case to somebody else? Well, maybe they can somewhere else, but not with this prosecutor they can.
Do you think it's bullying if it's coming from a victim?
I don't think this is I mean, I think the victim, frankly, I feel sorry for the victim. My heart goes out to her.
The better decision is to not be involved in the case.
Dale Bowles is a nonviolent guy who's just trying to get to work.
Did you wall yourself off from the case?
I don't know.
Do you think you should have?
No, I don't.
Whoa. Really? He
That's
really
absurd.
said that? He really did that? Like,
Oh my gosh.
really?
Thank you.
In front of people?
Guys.
The Fox 13 News investigative
Thank you.
team has spoken with at least 6 past and present members
Aw.
of the Utah County Attorney's Office who are deeply concerned, quote unquote, by what they describe as unethical behavior by their boss.
Now, employees say Levitt also asked them to go easy on a handyman who did work at the county attorney's home.
I ran on a platform to change the culture of the Utah County Attorney's Office. Have I done anything wrong? Not at all.
Prosecutors say they knew when David Levitt was elected Utah County Attorney, it would fundamentally change the way some cases are handled.
It's not my case, it's his case. It belongs to him.
But prosecutors like Lance Bastian, who have since left the office, say what they did not like was when Levitt would intervene on cases where he had a personal relationship, starting in 2018 with the traffic case of a handyman who worked at Levitt's home, a man who has been booked more than 40 times by the Utah County Sheriff's Office.
Among my very first meetings was to say, let me tell you about Dale Bowles.
He said, that gentleman and I have kind of a personal relationship. He's done a lot of work for me at my home. He's kind of a handyman.
And I said, how in the world are we helping society
This one's
by
kind of
taking a person
meh.
like this and continuing to keep them down and down and down?
Once
Oh,
he's told
my
his staff,
Lord.
wink, wink, I want you to handle this case a particular way, that probably created a personal conflict of interest for all of his staff.
She
No
says
kidding.
Levitt should have never used his friend or employee's case as an example.
That is no different than Lauren Matthias saying, oh no, I got this one. I got this one. I got the Daybell case. Oh, I got the Ruby and Jody. I got Tim Ballard. Hey, I just have all the Mormons making headlines right now, being shits. Okay. And so she's like, I got it. And she just deflects. All right. And she keeps them protected. That's me. He's like, I got it. I got this one. And then hard pass, like protects them from victimizing.
Example of the office's new policies.
It blew me away. It blew everybody away. I mean, that was all anybody could talk about for the rest of the day because it was so
Talk about it for the
wildly
rest of the year.
inappropriate.
But that is not how Levitt sees it. While some say the personal relationship means he should have steered clear, he says that's why he brought it up as part of a bigger policy discussion.
I used the Dale Bowles example because I'm so intimately involved with that example. I encourage
So
my
intimately involved.
prosecutors to get as
Ugh.
close to every case as they possibly can.
How close? That's weird.
Pick up another file from the office and learn the facts and use that as an example. Let the
Yeah.
staff put 2 and 2 together.
Bowles was
You got
charged
a-
with
Son,
driving on
you got a
Facts and use
booger.
that as an
Straight up.
example. Let the staff
Right there. You got a boogie. A white one.
put 2 and 2 together.
Bowles was charged with driving on a suspended license, an interlock violation, and driving with a broken headlight. All charges except for the broken headlight were dismissed. The prosecutor assigned to the case tells
Wow.
Fox 13 without Levitt's speech, the case probably would have had a different outcome.
He said he handled the case differently based on
Real
that
fucker
meeting.
case, Lauren.
Well, I hope he did. I wish that everyone would have taken the lesson from that meeting and treated every case differently.
In 2020,
You
Bowles was
heard? That is such a bullshit politician. It's gross.
Well, I hope he did. I wish that everyone would have taken the lesson from that meeting and treated every case differently.
in
We did, and you're not in office.
2020.
You live in your castle in Scotland.
Bowles was charged with possession of meth, but this time Levitt said it would have been a conflict for his office to prosecute, so he gave the case to Salt Lake County. He says
Messed
the
up.
reason the result was different is because the case was different.
You're dealing with the difference between a felony and a minor traffic violation.
Does the
Thank
bar
you.
discriminate on conflicts of interest, whether it's
Uh-huh.
an infraction,
I
a
know.
misdemeanor, or a felony?
I don't think so, but the difference here, Adam, is this.
I will.
I didn't make a specific I didn't make a specific decision on the traffic case.
The appearance of a conflict can't be.
Now, members of the Utah County Sheriff's Office are chiming in, saying the county attorney asked their deputies to ignore the law during a traffic stop involving that handyman.
Well, when we interviewed David Levitt last month, he was quick to point out that he has enemies at the Utah County Sheriff's Office. The sheriff says the two do not see eye to eye on how to enforce the law.
Here
And now
comes
we found
Mike.
those issues have
Sorry, I'm talking over it. Here comes Mike Smith,
especially come to a head as we look closer at the way Utah County
who also spoke at the Charlie Kirk situation.
He has handled multiple criminal cases involving Levitt's handyman. For years, Dale Bowles has been in and out of the Utah County Jail for many of the same charges: driving under the influence and driving on a suspended license.
He's an addict. He's got a real problem and needs to get a hold of it, but he's having a hard time doing that.
But on November 13th, 2018, Bowles did nothing wrong. He was simply in the passenger seat when a woman got arrested on drug charges. Deputies described the traffic stop as routine.
You heard the dog
until they got a phone call from Bowles' boss.
The deputy took the phone and talked to this person, and he told him his name was David Levitt and asked him if he knew who he was. Don't know how it was intended, but it just seemed unusual. Mr. Levitt had been elected county attorney, but hadn't yet been sworn in.
Dale worked for me. That's the short answer. He was a handyman on my house.
Deputies told us they did not feel threatened, but they thought Levitt was trying to use his position inappropriately, especially when he asked them not to impound the car, which they determined is required by state law. So they impounded it anyway.
That seemed inappropriate, yes. The deputy said that when he realized who it was, he just kind of shook his head and couldn't believe that he was being asked to not impound the car.
He shouldn't be representing the defendant when he's the county attorney.
Linda F. Smith is an attorney and member of the Utah State Bar Ethics Advisory Opinion Committee. She agrees with the sheriff's office that Levitt getting involved was inappropriate. 19 days ago, Fox 13 sent an email asking Levitt to explain what happened. He has not responded despite multiple follow-ups.
It was so wildly inappropriate.
Let's fast forward now to January 2022. Deputies say they arrested Bowles twice that month, in both cases for DUI and driving on a suspended license. So far, records show he has not been charged for the January 6th arrest. In the January 26th case, deputies say he was trying to hide fentanyl.
He had hidden it inside his body, and it was found inside the
At
jail.
his home.
Deputies say when Levitt's office screened the case, they were shocked. Prosecutors only charged Bowles with misdemeanors and not a felony. They're not sure if Bowles received any special treatment from his boss.
We don't always agree with the charges that the county attorney does, but sometimes their decisions make less sense than others.
Last month, in a phone call with Fox 13, Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith told us he feels a lot of criminals are being treated too leniently. Quote, "I don't agree with the way David Levitt does things. I don't agree with his policies. He's killing us in Utah County." Sergeant Cannon says the latest DUI cases probably should have been given to another prosecutor's office due to a conflict of interest. Which
Hey, Huggy. I only know this through my mom. She had told me a while back that Adam had contacted her, just to say that he was moving, I guess, on. I don't know. I don't remember if she said anything about going to a news station or I don't know. But I know that basically he left that one. He left Fox 13 News. So allegedly, I don't know that for sure. I remember. I just don't remember the details. So I'll find out though. But I think that's why, because that bothers me too. Like, come on, you made it this far, dude. Like, don't stop now. Makes me wonder why he moved, Anyways.
Which is exactly what Levitt did when Bowles was charged with possession of meth in 2020. That has not happened in the fentanyl case.
Dale Bowles became the target for people because Dale Bowles was associated with me.
If he feels like he has a target on his back, we didn't put it there. He would be the one who put it there by his behavior.
Reporting in Utah County, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
We're still going.
More developing news tonight. Multiple local and federal law enforcement agencies are investigating ritualistic sexual abuse, also human trafficking of children all over Utah. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbetz has been following the story and takes a closer look.
Well, the Utah County Sheriff's Office opened this case in April 2021, but according to our confidential sources, they are not starting from scratch. Here's what the department is willing to share so far. Reports of ritualistic sexual abuse and human trafficking involving children in at least these three areas: Utah County, San Pete County, and Juab County between the years of 1990 and 2010.
You know what else happened during those years? The Glenn Pace memo.
The sheriff's office has not released any other specifics.
Utah County is where Chad lives.
However, we
we have learned some of the subjects of this investigation are high-profile individuals.
We're just being as careful as we can before we toss names out. Any given individual.
There are 144 named alleged perps in the Hamblin files, and that's crazy. It's a lot of Mormon elites. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly.
It's the way it is. I mean, the chips fall where they are, and we follow them.
Good evening, everyone. Tensions flying between the Utah County Attorney and Sheriff Mike Smith.
County Attorney David Levitt asked the sheriff to resign today, even calling for an investigation
Oh,
into
here's
his
it.
activities.
Fox 13 News reporter Chris Arnold has what both men have to say today. He joins us live from the Utah County Sheriff's Office with more. Chris.
Well, Kelly, Bob, this all stems from an investigation into allegations of a ritualistic child sexual abuse case that is in child sex trafficking. Now, County Attorney David Levitt said the case involved a woman who he says was tragically mentally ill and made claims of sex abuse against 15 people.
When you read these documents, they are Epstein files in the Mormon world. Okay, straight up. That's my opinion. It's crazy.
Those are allegations Levitt says were found to not be credible, causing the case to be dismissed. Now, Levitt said during a press conference this afternoon,
Yeah, I have all these videos. I have all these things. I even got a clip from We Are the People Utah where they had Roselle Hamblin talking to her daughters on an audio, and she's saying how apostle or late apostle oh my gosh, there's too many damn names to remember. Oh my gosh, Tom Harrison's freaking dude. Oh my god, Maxwell, Neil A. Maxwell gave her a blessing. She had cold feet before marrying David Hamblin, and then she's saying that Neil A. Maxwell gave her a blessing and just pushed her on to go ahead with the wedding. And her daughters are like, Neil A. Maxwell gave you a blessing? She's like, yeah, no big deal. But if you have Lauren who grew up or whatever, I know she's not in the same ward now, but she talks about, she texted me this before, that Tom Harrison was in her ward, or she told us that, but she talked about how Dick and Brenda Miles were in her ward. And I'm like, okay, so Elizabeth Smart was in your ward, Dick and Brenda Miles, Tom Harrison. Okay, you're telling me, so she had to have lived with some, in the nicer neighborhood, maybe in Bountiful. I don't really know. I don't really understand the area, but just no, you don't know all these people, Lauren, or you're acting right now and you're playing it down, like it's I don't know. There's something smells like shit.
that he and his wife were named in those allegations, saying the two were guilty of cannibalizing and murdering young children.
Oh, so that's where I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, what? No, you cannot have this right here in Utah, Southern Utah. Okay. And then have Tylee and JJ found just the way they were found not long before this. And I'm like, right there in Idaho. But Chad was from Utah. So it's like, what the, So that's where this is how I entered this rabbit hole. Yeah. It's wild. Because you don't just hear, I never heard this shit before. I was like, what? I've never heard of kids like Tylee and JJ being, I don't know. I had lived in my own little world before I found out my uncle was murdered. And then, like I said, it's been rocked ever since. So
it was debunked more than 10 years ago. It was dismissed.
I take exception to any victim who comes forward and is characterized as tragically mentally ill. How dare you?
Tribal Social Services looked at us and said,
now this guy, this again is David Levitt. He's also allegedly connected to Ukraine. He has the Levitt Institute, which is over there, him and his wife, Shalom Eastwood Levitt. And she's also a sex researcher that works at BYU. Does that make sense? I wonder if she termed the word soaking. I wonder. But these are the kind of people that allegedly push for to normalize young children having sex and saying, yeah, it feels good. Yeah. Okay. And so he even mentioned, you'll see right here where he says Victor Yushchenko, he takes a picture with him in the Ukraine. And he was actually allegedly, according to Goel's research into ritualistic oh my God, SRA. I thought I heard something. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Lost my train of thought. Okay. It'll come.
We're not giving you this baby.
This video was recorded by a documentarian in 2020. It's 17 minutes long, and it shows Utah County Attorney.
He was the alleged target of a Homeland Security investigation, allegedly.
David Levitt telling the story of how he managed to adopt a tribal infant in 2017.
And finally, this strategy comes into my head. And if you got 5 minutes, I'll tell you the story.
As he describes it, his strategy meant hopping on a plane to Montana, then walking onto the reservation unscheduled to meet with the president of the Northern Cheyenne tribe.
I said,
So he's just like, hey, yo, want a baby? And he's like, okay.
I'm here for 2 reasons. I said, I'm here to tell you the second reason first. But I'll tell you the first reason second. And I said, but before I tell you the second reason, I will tell you a story.
His story touches on the importance of family. Then it highlights his close friendship with former Ukrainian President Viktor Yushchenko.
Victor and I have this goal of...
Now, you got to read between the lines here of what the goal is.
Introducing buffalo into Western Ukraine. And you're a sovereign nation, and you have a buffalo herd, and Ukraine is a sovereign nation, and it doesn't have a buffalo herd, but it wants one. And so I'm here to try and see if we can form a bilateral agreement between the people of the Northern Cheyenne and the people of Ukraine to introduce buffalo to Western Ukraine. And at that point, he was all ears.
I bet.
And I said, that's the second reason why I'm here.
He's so cocky.
The first reason why I'm here is this.
Arrogant.
That we want to adopt one of your people.
He says tribal president Jace
I mean, he's so, in my opinion, oh my God, I know I'm being graded and scored by YouTube. Okay. I've been seeing this happening, I'm like, oh my God, this is a social credit score roll out, because if you conform and you don't say all the words that call them out, then you get to play in the algorithm. If you don't conform and you say murder, shit, fuck, rape, things like that, real words, then they're like, yeah, piss on you. Okay. And you don't get to play. You don't get to participate. So here we are.
Back gave his blessing, but tribal social services did not. So Levitt went back to the president to try again. Watch and listen to how he describes the tribal president made a compelling argument to help Levitt clear that final hurdle and take home the child that same day.
He said, listen, the Levitts are friends of the tribe. They're assets to the tribe for more than just this. I left, and 5 minutes later, the phone rang.
He just said they're assets to the tribe for more than just this. Can you imagine what else?
And it was a social worker saying, I think I figured out a way to get this child to you.
Jace Kills.
Fire that person.
Back has declined to comment. At the time of this interview, he was in prison for fraud in an unrelated case.
Not every child needs to grow up in the city,
Amen,
grass, white picket fence house. It's best for the Native children to remain in Native communities.
Stephanie Benali, a Native American specialist for Utah foster care, is not just giving her opinion in this interview. She's describing federal law, the Indian Child Welfare Act. It was passed in 1978 to protect Native American children from being adopted by non-Native families.
Prior to the act, 25 to 35% of Native children were removed from their home and placed in non-Native homes.
There's such a
I'm so sorry for that happening. Ugh.
prejudice in the Native community about a non-Native adopting a Native.
Levitt says the child.
And so he's like, okay.
Technically, she's his step, foster, great niece. They might not be related by blood, but ultimately, the tribe gets to decide who's considered family. According to court documents, the child's biological mother willingly gave up her parental rights.
He prosecuted this girl, this woman, this mother, and she ended up with his car. I mean, it's a bizarre story, and I mean, this is just surface level, but it's so deep and complex. But it's just corruption, and it's just nasty. It's just part of what's wrong with our system, and these people who just think that they are the know all be all. I mean, he went back twice. And they're like, okay, let me see what I can do. Okay, here you go. Here's you a kid whom he moved to Scotland.
But
Mm.
the biological father did not.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah, the biological father did not sign his rights over. He did not know.
I would like our elected officials
Oh, I'm
to
cold.
be servants of the public and not
Yeah.
self-serving.
Linda
Yeah.
F. Smith is a member of
I
the
love
Utah
her.
State Bar Ethics Advisory Opinion Committee. She also taught.
I wonder if she ever heard Jameis Johnson. I'm just wondering. I would love to tickle her ear. I want to know. I'm going to contact her. I am, because I've seen her in a couple stories. One having to do with Chad, the church sent out letters or whatever when Chad was being whatever prosecuted, and she spoke on that, and then this, and I like her. I'm going to reach out. All she can do is say no.
Ethics at the University of Utah for more than 30 years.
We're not going to
She
be here
says
much longer.
The video is concerning in more ways than one.
He was
Yeah.
clearly politicking to get his way. It was a little smarmy, a way to talk somebody into letting you adopt a child that might otherwise be better raised by the tribe.
David Levitt is the same county attorney who named himself as
Entitled. Ugh.
the subject of
Here
a
we go.
ritualistic child sex abuse investigation. Last month, he announced he is not a murderer, a cannibal, or an abuser.
Oh,
And
bitch.
he accused the Utah County Sheriff of playing politics right before the primary, even though Levitt was not publicly named.
This is not
He
a politically
named himself.
motivated investigation.
I mean, is it disturbing? Yeah, it is. You have to kind of separate that and not let emotions affect your investigation at all.
Noel Engels is a former analyst with Homeland Security. He confirmed his team had been investigating sexual allegations against Levitt for several years. Then in
Years.
2020, Homeland Security received the video and started investigating for human trafficking.
So I wonder what else they were investigating for. Did I miss it? And then he said human trafficking. Let me see.
Investigation at all.
Noel Engels is a former analyst with Homeland Security. He confirmed his team had been investigating sexual allegations against Levitt
Okay, sexual allegations, but then trafficking.
for several years.
And then when did Tim Ballard go to Ukraine? I'm just asking.
Then in 2020, Homeland Security received the video and started.
And then why did Lawin go to Romania? Lauren's family. Why did she go to Israel? What does Jameis have to offer over there at that time? Like I'm trying to figure this shit out.
Investigating for human trafficking.
It's literally our job is to make sure children are safe.
5 months after receiving the video, documents show Noel and his team were removed from the case. He has since filed a whistleblower complaint and received.
I mean, that's exactly what David Levitt apparently did earlier in the story whenever he was like, I'm going to prosecute Dan Bowles or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like it's.
Back this letter.
And this is how shit gets backdoored. This is how shit gets poo-pooed.
That Homeland Security improperly terminated an investigation into allegations involving current Utah County Attorney David Levitt. We emphasize that while the Office of Special Counsel has found a substantial likelihood of wrongdoing based on the information you submitted in support of your allegation.
Can't you indict a ham sandwich? I mean, here we go.
Our referral to the
Nope.
Secretary for Investigation is not a final determination that the allegations are substantiated.
This is not how you adopt a child. This is how you procure a child.
We reached out to David Levitt for an explanation last week. His spokesperson said he would be happy to tell the entire story, but not until after tomorrow's election because they believe.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that.
Tomorrow's election because they believe, quote, this has no bearing on his performance as Utah County Attorney and is not relevant. We want you to know we are publishing the full 17-minute clip online at fox13now.com.
Okay, we're gonna end there because I'm tired. I'm hungry too. I've not eaten. Have y'all eaten today? I've not eaten today. Shut the front door. Call me. Call me. Call me right now. I don't even want to type it. Oh my gosh. but I don't know if she went to freaking school. I forget if it was Christina or if it was Janice. Let me know, Janice, if you're still here. Come on, put the mop down. No, I'm kidding. But it was one of them, I think, that told me or mentioned. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was somebody, one of the 7 cool gatherers, who said that there was no. Oh, I think it was Idaho mom, normal Idaho mom, actually, who said that there was no record of. They couldn't find Lauren graduating from where she said she graduated from. So it's like, what? Like, I don't even know where to go. No, there's no, it doesn't have to be. I'm using this for fair use. I can put it in the description box. As long as I'm stopping and commenting, it's fair use too. Like, you don't have to display it, but we do because of Lawin. Just as an added measure, I guess. But yeah. It's under Adam Herbert's too. So these are his news stories that he did on his channel. He only has 503 subscribers. Yeah. So I'll leave this in the chat again, this link and everything. I mean, he put all of them together. It's 26 minutes, 21 seconds long. And I know you really can't I'm still grasping it, I'm just like, good Lord, there's a lot of moving parts on top of Lori and Chad with all their moving parts, Tim Ballard and all those moving parts. Lord, it just is huge. And I mean, it keeps growing, obviously, but it's like, this is the network and this is the system. This is the quote unquote RICO. Okay. This is the RICO that is doing all these things and why Tylee and JJ were murdered, and especially in the way they were. I mean, there's stalking. That's why I was wondering if Christina was going to, move forward and maybe sue Lauren for defamation. I mean, that would have factored into a RICO. But I mean, I also respect and understand if she doesn't. I totally get it. Yeah, I really do. Plus, it's a lot of money. So I mean, I can make it without that. I just, there's just so many things to factor in. There's freaking murdered kids. There's trafficking. There's just everything. Abuse. There's all kinds of things. So I know 80s to 30, 40s, back to high 70s and 80s tomorrow in the next 10 days. Oh my gosh. I'm literally like shaking right now. Like I'm cold. And I'm sitting here in like a red and black freaking like flannel jacket. I look like a woolly booger right about now. So, but anyways, thank y'all for being here and just, chit-chatting and just being you. I really appreciate you guys. Donna said, I'm falling asleep, so I'm going to remove myself. Poor thing. She really works hard. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll schedule for tomorrow about Tom Harrison, Lauren Matthias, just kind of that angle, like kind of what I was talking about earlier, but just a little more gathered together. And we'll just kind of, just kind of share our minds, our thoughts and everything. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me fix myself. We'll just kind of share our ideas and kind of spin off one another too. So, I look forward to it. I really want to hang out with you guys tomorrow. I'm going to eat something. Thank you. Y'all go eat something too. All right. Snowing. That is freaking bizarre. I think it was Beach Bum that said earlier something about flurries. Was it Beach Bum? Love you too, Lamisa. Love you too, Hawkeyes. I know Donna. She's nighting, but we'll tell her. Yeah, and Miss Mojo and Mr. Mojo too. And salt and pepper's here. salt and pepper's here. Okay, I'm a nerd. And Angela, we love you. Thank you so much. Oh, and Huggy. Call me. Call me. I'm telling you. I'll give you my digits right now. You had snow Saturday. It missed us this year. Totally. But anyways, all right, guys. Oh, enough random Mormon news for one day. But hey, justice for Eric Richins and his family, especially his boys right now, y'all. Really keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And whew, I know they're relieved, and I think this is how it was for me and my family. I would say for my family. I know we were relieved. But it never brings them back. So it's like a your heart is just so full, and you're happy and you're relieved, and just there's a lot of emotions. But you're also like missing that. You're realizing that in that moment, like it doesn't bring him back, doesn't bring them back. It doesn't right the wrongs. It doesn't put life back into them. It doesn't take back any of the shit that we just went through and still are going through, and it's not over for them. Just know that this is just part of the process. It's another, whatever. It's another mark in the hat. I don't even know what to call it. It's just another step forward. And I mean, they still have to raise those boys, and I can't imagine. That's heavy shit, man. I can't even imagine. Okay, yeah, let me stop thinking about it because that's heavy shit. And I know I'm just saying I can't even imagine because I can't, because that's crazy, My God, following Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I heard that name, but case in Massachusetts at the moment, Crusha. That one is sad and makes you angry. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Thank you, South Australian Cheryl. Appreciate you. You made me a song? Thank you. I will check my email when I go to my warm room. It's freaking cold over here. Justice for Kelsey. Yes. Oh, man. Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, Joe, Brandon, Eric, Kelsey, and all the other victims out there, named and unnamed, known and unknown. So, all right, guys. See you mañana. I already said that. Love always wins. Bye, guys.